1, 2, 3, 4. I'm on 2. Hello and welcome to beautiful Orange County here at the Orange County Great Park. Knight Uretsky with Ryan Milano as the Conejo Oaks. They face off against the OC Riptide. Let's go ahead and jump right into the starting lineups. For the Conejo Oaks, Grant Smith, he's going to be leading off playing second base. TJ Foreman, the right fielder, in the 2 spot. Zach Gregory, the left fielder, he's in the 3 spot. Then you have Reagan Burford, the DH. Brendan Bobo, followed by him, is Raul Sandoval, the center fielder. Andrew Sharp behind the dish. JT Naviak, the shortstop, and Robert Capozzi, the third baseman today. And Grant Smith, he's going to step up to the plate to face off against the pitcher Tony Roby, as the first pitch to him misses, and it's 1-0 to Grant Smith. Defensively now for the Riptide, you have Servern, Allen, and Freeman in the outfield. In the infield, you have Cervantes, Espelin, Williams, and Spenrath. That goes left to right in both the outfield and the infield. Taylor is going to be behind the dish. The 1-0 is in there for a strike. Count even 1-1 to Grant Smith as the ball goes over the head of Roby. And now he fields it again. We're still squared away, 1-1. Grant Smith yesterday had 2 doubles, 1 in the first and 1 in the third inning, before flying out and grounding out yesterday, as the 1-1 is in there for a strike, 1-2. So Grant Smith yesterday, he went 2 for 4. Right now, he's down 1-2. Smith getting the start at second base today, as the 1-2 from Roby. Smith rips to left field, and the leadoff single now for the Oaks. Grant Smith on the 4th pitch of his at-bat sends it to left field, and the Oaks, they're in business.
And an interesting new lineup change today. Grant Smith, he's normally been sitting around the 3 and the 4 hole. He gets moved up to leadoff after he's been hitting well, especially in the first few innings in the last few games. He continues to start out well in the first inning as he drips a single to left field, gets aboard first, and the leadoff man is on.
Snap to the plate. TJ Foreman, the right fielder, he's set off to face against Tony Roby as Foreman fouls it away. It's now 0-1 to TJ Foreman. Foreman now yesterday, he led off the game in the leadoff spot. He had an 0 for 4 day, 2 strikeouts, 1 in the 3rd, 1 in the 4th, and a flyout in the 6th, as well as grounding out in the 1st inning. So a game that TJ Foreman wants to forget about. Trying to bounce back here against the Riptide. Fouls off the 0-1. Foreman now behind 0-2. Foreman this season in conference play batting .225. Non-conference, though, still .225. Went 0 for 4 yesterday, but prior to that against the Blues on July 4th, he had a 1 for 4 game where he scored a run and had a triple. The 0-2 misses away. Count now 1-2 to TJ Foreman. On the year, he has 14 hits and 55 at-bats. 13 of them have been singles. The one, we just mentioned it, the triple, that was against the Blues in that tough 6-5 loss. That was on Sunday. The 1-2 fouled away. 5th pitch of the at-bat coming up to TJ Foreman as he has a runner on first in Grant Smith after Grant Smith led off the game with a single off of Tony Roby. Roby, he's set. The 1-2. Got him looking. TJ Foreman is sent down on the 5th pitch of the at-bat to him. Got him looking. And now coming up to the plate, Zach Gregory. He's going to be in left field today as he stands in with Grant Smith on first base and 1 out. So far in this inning, Grant Smith, a leadoff single on the 4th pitch of his at-bat. TJ Foreman strikes out, fouled off a couple of pitches, but looked at the 5th one. That was called for a strike. So 1 out, and Smith leads it off. Gregory, first pitch he sees, a blooper in the infield. Coming over to field it is Cervantes. He makes the play, And Gregory's retired on the first pitch to him, an F5. And now 2 are gone through the first 10 pitches of the game.
And we've seen Gregory be a little out of sorts in the last 2 games. He ended off last week with a big 2-home-run performance against the Slow Blues. But since then, maybe a little bit of extra confidence at the plate. He's first pitch hunting much more often, and he's getting out a lot more on first pitches. We're used to him being accustomed to him getting deep into counts and seeing a lot of pitches and working his way on. We've seen him a few times now starting today and yesterday swing at the first pitch and get out.
Reagan Burford now at the plate as the ball is in the dirt, 1-0. Burford yesterday, he had a ground out in the first inning, a strikeout looking in the third. He had a single in the fifth, and then in the 7th inning he walked in a 7-pitch at bat. So 1-for-3 day yesterday for Burford as he swings and misses. Count now even 1-1 to Reagan Burford. Burford this season in conference play batting .345. In non-conference though, .280. So it's definitely heated up since the start of conference play. Second pitch to Burford, or excuse me, third pitch to Burford in the dirt. Now 2-1 to Reagan Burford. 2 outs. Grant Smith on first. It's a beautiful day here in Irvine. The wind, just a slight breeze, not really picking up anywhere. If it's going anywhere, it would be towards right field. As the 2-1 misses away. It's now 3-1 to Reagan Burford.
And we have sort of seen Reagan Burford and Zach Gregory switch spots over the last few days in terms of their batting approach. Burford, he's been seeing counts a lot deeper. He had 2 counts yesterday that were over 6 pitches. And Gregory, he's been swinging a lot earlier in counts.
Roby, he's set. The pitch. Burford swings and misses, and now full count to Reagan Burford. Brendan Bobo, he's on deck. Raul Sandoval, he's in the hole if they get to them. As there's 2 outs and a full count to Reagan Burford. Roby, he's set. The pitch. Got him swinging. Second K of the day for Tony Roby. And the Oaks, they strand one after the leadoff single from Grant Smith. We head to the bottom of the first inning, still tied 0-0. You are listening to the Conejo Oaks live stream presented by KDTV. Knight Uretsky with Ryan Milano here in Orange County. Starting lineup for the Riptide, Dwight Allen in center field, Colton Freeman in right field, Reed Spenrath in first base, Edwin Williams, the second baseman, Tank Espelin, the shortstop. Efren Cervantes in the 6th spot. Cody Dreiss, the 7th spot. Charlie Taylor, the 8-hole. And Spencer Servin, the 9-hole batter. As the first pitch from Lucian Weschberg is in there for a strike. 0-1 to Dwight Allen. Weschberg getting the start for today for the Oaks. Saw him last week against the Foresters as the 0-1 is not in there. Count even now 1-1. Weschberg in that game against the Foresters pitched 5 innings, gave up 4 runs on 6 hits, had 2 walks but 3 strikeouts. A 1-1 swung on and missed from Allen. Weschberg, he's ahead now 1-2. Weschberg, he was impressive in that game. There was a lot of strikes, does get hit often, but a lot of them are caught in play for outs as the 1-2 misses. 2-2 now to Dwight Allen. Weschberg, a man that goes to Oxnard College as the pitch misses again. Full count now to Dwight Allen to lead it off. Allen, the payoff pitch. That one misses, so a 6-pitch at bat for Dwight Allen to start, and it ends in a walk from Weschberg. So now a runner on and nobody out, just like the Oaks had it in the top of the first inning. And the Riptide, they have Colton Freeman, the right fielder, stepping up to the plate.
And we talked to Lucian Weschberg before the game, and he said he wanted to throw first pitch strikes and attack batters early. He did that against Allen, but then he lost him with 3 consecutive balls.
So now Freeman up to the plate. Allen leads off from first. The pitch from Weschberg misses high. 1-0 to Colton Freeman. Colton Freeman this season, he's batting .340 with the Riptide. As now there's a meeting right now between Andrew Sharp and Lucian Weschberg. The defensive alignment for the Oaks, Zach Gregory in left field, Raul Sandoval in center field, TJ Foreman in right field, Robert Capozzi, the third baseman, JT Naviak at shortstop, Grant Smith, the second baseman, Brendan Bobo, the first baseman, and Andrew Sharp behind the dish. The 1-0, that one misses high again. So now 2-0 to Colton Freeman. So mentioned it, Freeman batting .340 on the year with the Riptide, has 16 hits and 47 at-bats. 4 of them have been doubles. Also has 5 RBIs and 3 strikeouts. Check swing is called for a strike. 2-1 to Freeman now. Yesterday, the Riptide, they lost a close one. It was 13-12 yesterday against the Saints. It's a tough loss as Weschberg fires back to first. In there safely is Allen. Still awaiting the 2-1 is Freeman. Weschberg, he's set. The pitch, that one's inside, and now 3-1 to Colton Freeman. Allen leading off from first. The pitch. This one's roped to left field. Curving foul and does go foul. So now a full count to Colton Freeman. After he was early on a pitch, sent it to left field. The ball just kept drifting foul and does go foul.
And he barreled it up well. He definitely got out in front of that pitch, but it was on the outside part of the plate. Lucian Weschberg slowed it down right there, and Freeman just threw the hands but was too far out in front. And that, if it would have got down in fair territory, probably would have scored the runner all the way from first.
Weschberg set. The second consecutive payoff pitch. That one misses inside. Taking off to first is Freeman as he sprints down the line. Over to second is Allen. And now 2 men are on board with back-to-back walks from Weschberg. So Reed Spenrath steps up to the plate. In that game against the Saints yesterday, it went to 13 innings.
I hope we're not here that long.
Yeah, that'd be a long game. As Westberg steps off the mound. And now he's going to have another talk with Sharp. So, Ryan, what do you think Sharp's talking to Westberg about right now?
Well, I think right now, Lucian Westberg, he's been locating his pitches relatively well. He's gotten 2 strikes in every count, but he's also lost a few batters on walks. So it's not necessarily about pitch location, but pitch execution, being able to go inside with those pitches and mix them in the right ways to not go behind in counts and attack Reed Spenrath early in this count with 2 runners on and no one out.
The first pitch to Spenrath, that's in the dirt, gets past Sharp. Heading over to third is Allen. Over to second now is Freeman. So now 2 runners in scoring position after the pass ball from Sharp.
And we talked to Lucian Westberg before the game, and he said that sometimes he does have a tendency to spike pitches, especially on that changeup. I'm not sure if that was the changeup that he threw right there, but it was spiked in the dirt, and it's one of the first few pitches that we've seen spiked in the dirt so far.
Westberg, the pitch, that one's outside. Now 2-0 to Reed Spenrath. Spenrath this season batting .214 on the year, has 9 hits and 42 at bats, has 10 runs on the year. 2 of his 9 hits, they've been doubles. No extra bases besides those 2 doubles and 9 RBIs as he fouls one off the first base side. It's now 2-1 to Reed Spenrath.
So Westberg, he got ahead to the first batter and Dwight Allen, but to both Colton Freeman and Reed Spenrath, he has thrown 2 first pitch balls and had to work back in the count. It's important for him here to not go down 3 balls to 1 like he did to Colton Freeman in the last at-bat and have to work back even more mightily.
Westberg, he's set. The pitch. This one's fouled down the first baseline once again, just foul. See Allen heading to home, trying to score, but does drift foul. Count now 2-2 to Reed Spenrath. Dwight Allen on third, Colton Freeman on second. Both of them walked, and then a pass ball from Sharp, and that's now why we're here. As the 2-2, that one misses high and away. Full count for the 3rd straight batter from Lucian Westberg.
And he lost the first 2 on walks on 6 straight pitches. He did not throw a strike on both of the 3-2 counts. He has to go back into the zone, force Reed Spenrath to try to do something with the pitch and not give him a free bag.
The payoff pitch, high and away. So Lucian Westberg, he's walked the bases loaded. He's got himself in a jam, and now he's going to have to get himself out of this jam.
And right here we've seen 18 pitches, all of them coming on full count walks. It's interesting to see right here from Lucian Westberg, how is he going to bounce back? How is he going to counteract? And how is Andrew Sharp behind the dish going to change up the pitch calling back there in order to have a pitch sequence to this 4-hole hitter to throw strikes? Because while you have walked 3 consecutive batters, you still haven't given up any outs in the inning. It's still is a possibility that you get out of the inning without giving up any runs, with giving up just 1 run. And it's important right here if you're Lucian Westberg, especially with runners on every base, a force at every bag, throw strikes, throw pitches, and force Edrin Williams to make the play himself with his bat.
Adarian Williams now at the plate. As the first pitch to Williams misses high and inside. 1-0 to Williams. Williams this season batting .367 with the Riptide. Yesterday in that 13-12 game, he had 5 hits and 6 at-bats. So a very hot bat in the lineup right now for the Riptide as he swings at the 1-0, misses. Count even 1-1 as it briefly got behind Sharp. No runners advance as he was able to corral it in time. Still though, 1-1.
And Lucian Westberg here, he has given up full count walks, but he's not a stranger to going deep in counts and going with a multitude of walks. In the game against the Foresters, he had 6 counts where he saw 2 or 3 balls to a batter.
The 1-1, that one misses high and inside. Now 2-1 to Adarian Williams. Mentioned the 5 hits and 6 at-bats yesterday for Williams in the 13-12 loss for the Riptide. 3 of those 5 hits were doubles. He had 4 RBIs in the day. His 1 non-hit, it was a strikeout. This one's fouled away by Williams. Count now even 2-2.
So Westberg, again, he has a Darian Williams on the hook on a 2-2 count. Is he going to go back inside? He's lost a few batters on fastballs that have run up and away, and he's lost a few on balls that have bounced in the dirt. Right here, he has to even it out, locate a pitch on the outside part of the plate, and make sure Williams doesn't get a pitch to hit.
The 2-2, this one bounces in the dirt. And now for the 4th straight batter, we have a full count.
And right here, if you're Lucian Westberg, it's really important not to mess around. With Reed Spenrath, it was important not to mess around, but you did have the open bag in first. Now, if you walk a batter, you walk in a run. It's important. This pitch is a strike. As much as a Darian Williams coming off a hot day, make him force this one.
The payoff pitch misses, so 4 straight walks in a run from Westberg. Coming in to score is Dwight Allen. Heading over to first is Williams. Spenrath to second and Freeman to third. And the Riptide, they're leading 1-0 as now a pitching meeting with pitching coach Scott Radinsky.
And I know talking to Scott Radinsky and his philosophy on pitchers is if you let them just take free bags, then there's nothing that the batter has to do. Force them to get hits. Force them to work their way aboard. He says that he has to be able to have a pitcher that can throw strikes, or else he can't use his pitching knowledge. He can't teach them as a pitching coach. He needs Lucian Westberg right here to come back and locate his pitches, because he hasn't been doing a terrible job in location, but he hasn't been doing a fantastic job in location either, because he's walked 4 straight batters.
Snap to the plate, Tank Espelin. He stands in with the bases loaded. Still nobody out for the Riptide as they just took the 1-0 lead after the 4th straight walk from Westberg. Westberg, the first pitch, misses. 1-0 to Espelin. Espelin undecided, originally from Glendora, California. Played for high school baseball powerhouse Orange Lutheran. As a ball in the dirt, it's now 2-0 to Espelin.
And right here after the pitching meeting from Scott Radinsky to Lucian Westberg, I don't love the response from Westberg. He's thrown 2 straight balls, both of them being spiked. Once you have that pitching meeting at the mound, you expect strikes to be thrown. Westberg has to dial it in right here. If Espelin gets on via a walk, I'm not sure if it's going to be a good day for Westberg.
The 2-0 in there for a strike. 2-1 to Espelin. Bases loaded. Wind non-existent here in Orange County. 4 straight walks to start from Westberg. And now a 2-1 count as he finds himself behind again. This one's grounded to the third base side. Sliding play by Capozzi. He gets up, spins around, but he has no play. Infield single for Espelin, and another run comes in as all the runners advance. It's now 2-0.
And Robert Capozzi, not a new addition to third base, but not the everyday third baseman. Typically we see Grant Smith over there at third base. Capozzi right there. He made the play to keep it on the infield, but he did not have a throw at any bag. He was just a little bit too far away from third base in order to scamper over to make the force out at the bag. And on a ground ball right there for Westberg, I think it was key to getting out.
Snap to the plate. Efren Cervantes, as the first pitch to him misses. 1-0. Cervantes on the season. Let's see. Batting 178. That's in conference play as he's awaiting the 1-0 pitch. Batting 200 in non-conference play if you add the 2 totals as a pitch gets behind Sharp. Now 2-0. So Westberg, he's behind again. 6 straight batteries gone behind to. Walked the first 4 batters. The 5th batter, he just hit an infield single. Bases still loaded. Nobody out. The Riptide, they're leading 2-0. It's the first time all year these two teams have met. As the 2-0, that one misses low. And now 3-0 to Cervantes.
And again, a walk gives him a free bag. If I'm Cervantes right here, I'm not swinging at anything.
Freeman at third, Spenrath, he's at second. Spenrath at third as a walk now for Cervantes by 4 pitches. The runners, they all advance. Another run comes in to score. 3-0 the score now. Williams heads to third. Espelin to second. Cervantes to first. And now up to the plate, the 7-hitter, Cody Dreiss. First pitch to Dreiss. Fastball inside, 1-0. Seems like Westbrook is missing the zone all the time.
Yeah, he's having trouble locating his pitches, and he's trying to work inside to a right-handed batter, but he's been either too far elevated or spiking pitches into the zone.
Westbrook gets a called strike. Count even 1-1 to Dreiss. Dreiss originally from Seattle, Washington. Goes to Washington State University. The 1-1 in there for a strike. 1-2 now to Dreiss. This season, batting .211, has 5 RBIs. Has 4 hits on the year, 3 of them being doubles. As the pitch is high. Count even 2-2. So
if I'm the Riptide right now, I'm not swinging at anything.
The 2-2, that one's inside and high. It seems like that's where Westbrook has been missing the most. He has faced a lot of full counts. This is the 5th full count to the 7th batter. He's missing high and inside to right-handed hitters as this one's ground to the shortstop, Naviak. Over to Smith, the second baseman, to first. A double play. Cody Dreiss grounds into a double play. A run comes in to score, and a Darian Williams. Espelin, he's over to third, but Cervantes, he's out at second. Dreiss, he's out at first, and 2 are out with a runner on third, and the lead 4-0.
And that's just about the best thing that you could have wanted right there if you're Westbrook. You induce another ground ball. This time it's on the middle infield, and Naviak and Smith, the combination up the middle, able to turn 2.
Broken bat, flare into the outfield. Coming in to score is now Espelin as Charlie Taylor, the catcher, a broken bat single to right field.
And that's one way to get rewarded after you break your bat. If you break a bat to end an inning, it's never a good thing. Lucian Westbrook, he prides himself on broken bats, but I'm not sure he wants to give too many broken bats for singles.
Snap to the plate, Spencer Servin, as Taylor leads off from first. 5-0 the score now. Westbrook fires back to first. In there safely is Taylor. Still awaiting the first pitch is Servin. Westbrook, he's set. The pitch in there for a strike. 0-1 to Spencer Servin. First time today Westbrook has gotten ahead. Servin this season batting .286 with the Riptide as he skies one high in the air in the infield. Grant Smith, the second baseman. Brendan Bobo also in the area. He moves over. Bobo makes the play, and the inning is over. So 5 runs come in on just 2 hits, and now all 9 batters have batted for the Riptide. We'll head to the top of the second inning. The Riptide, they're leading 5-0. Knight Uretsky, Ryan Milano with you here in Orange County. The Riptide, they scored 5 runs in the first inning on only 2 hits after Lucien Washburg walked a lot of batters as the first pitch to Brendan Bobo misses 1-0. Bobo, he's playing at first base. Second time we've seen him in the 5 spot as he fouls away the 1-0. Count even 1-1. Yesterday, Bobo, he had a strikeout in the first inning, a hit by pitch in the 4th inning, a walk in the 5th inning, and then a strikeout in the 7th inning as he fouls away the 1-1. Count now 1-2 to Brendan Bobo.
And Bobo started swinging the bat a lot better in the last few games. He did strike out twice yesterday, but he also reached base twice as well, and he hasn't been hitting the ball as successfully as he was to start the season, but his on-base percentage has skyrocketed.
Swing and a miss from Bobo. 3rd strikeout of the day from Roby. And now 1 is gone here in the top of the 2nd. Coming up to the plate now, Raul Sandoval, the center fielder. And Sandoval yesterday negotiably was the player of the game. We gave it to Donovan Waitman after he threw 5 innings and had 8 strikeouts. But Sandoval, he was up for contention. He had 2 doubles in the day, including 1 to center field. As the first pitch to Sandoval in there for a strike, 0-1. That ball hit to center field. It was off the wall. So the 1 to right field went opposite way, off the wall as well. It was an effective day hitting for Sandoval. Pitch is in there. It's now 0-2 to Raul Sandoval. It's really the breakout game of the season for Sandoval. Was hitless in his prior 8 games. As Sandoval swings and misses, a 3-pitch strikeout to Raul Sandoval. It's the 4th strikeout of the day for Roby, and now 2 are gone here in the 2nd.
Yeah, and Tony Roby right now has all of his stuff working. He is mowing through the Oaks batters right here. And right now for the Oaks, if your pitcher gives up 5 runs in the first and you can't hit off of Roby, something else has to be working. Start to get creative, start to get on base in other ways. But right now, Tony Roby on the hill, he is dealing.
5 straight outs from Roby after giving up the leadoff single to Grant Smith. First pitch to Andrew Sharp, misses inside, 1-0. Roby this season, he's appeared in 6 games with the Riptide, has 2 decisions. He's 1-1 with a 2.84 ERA. He started 4 games, has 2 saves also on the year, so he's either starting or saving the game. As the pitch is inside to Sharp. 2-0 the count. Roby, his last appearance, it was against the Arroyo Seco Saints. Pitched 5 innings, gave up 2 earned runs on 8 hits and 2 walks, had 3 strikeouts. As Sharp fouls this one away, it's now 2-1. He had an 8 strikeout performance against the SoCal Shepherds in non-league game on June 17th. That was his most strikeouts of the year. Had 4 strikeouts against the Foresters on June 26th. Already 4 strikeouts here today. Pitches inside to Sharp, 3-1. Sharp getting the start at catcher today. Seen him all around. As the 3-1 in there for a strike. Now full count to Andrew Sharp with 2 outs. Sharp this season batting .240 overall, batting .300 in conference play. Was the player of the game against the Ventura Pirates. In that 5-3 game, hit a home run. That was his breakout game. As the payoff pitch swung on in the dirt. 3 strikeouts in the inning for Roby. His 5th strikeout of the game. And nothing doing for the Oaks. We head to the bottom of the 2nd inning. The Riptide, they're leading 5-1. We'll be right back, and you are listening to the Conejo Oaks on the Conejo Oaks live stream presented by KDTV. Knight Uretsky and Ryan Milano with you. Bottom of the second inning, the Riptide, they batted through the lineup in the bottom of the first as the first pitch to Dwight Allen misses inside 1-0. Dwight Allen, his first time up, he walked on a 6-pitch at bat, saw a full count from Westberg before taking the free pass to first. Swings and fouls off the 1-0. Count even 1-1. He later came around to score. He was walked in after Westberg had 4 straight walks to start the game. Then he allowed an infield single. All the runners advanced. Then he forced a double play from Cody Dreiss. After that, got an infield or a broken bat single from Charlie Taylor as the pitch misses low. It's now 2-1. After that Taylor single to right field, Spencer Servin flew out to Brendan Bobo, and that ended the first as the pitch is inside. Now 3-1 the count to Dwight Allen. Westberg, the windup, the pitch. 3-1 misses low. 5-pitch at bat to Allen, his second walk of the game. And now another discussion with Andrew Sharp and Lucian Westberg. Everything squared away. Sharp heads back to the dish. Westberg on the mound. And Dwight Allen, he's on first base with his second straight leadoff walk to start this inning.
And Westberg has just had trouble finding the strike zone, and that's simply just what it is right now for Lucian Westberg.
Westberg, with those 5 pitches, he's up to 46 pitches on the game. Had 41 pitches in the first inning. As the first pitch is in there for a strike to Colton Freeman. Freeman, he saw a full count just like Dwight Allen. He ended up walking as well on the 6th pitch. He stands in for the second time. Runner goes. The pitch inside. The throw from Sharp. That's not in time. In there safely is Dwight Allen. And now a runner in scoring position with nobody out for the Riptide. Westberg on the mound. Colton Freeman up for the second time here in the second inning now. Pitches inside. Count now 2-1 to Colton Freeman.
We see some action now in the Oaks bullpen. I think it's Aiden Garza, the man getting warmed up for Conejo.
It is Aiden Garza. Westberg, he's allowed 5 runs on only 2 hits. As gets a swing and a miss from Freeman. Count now 2-2 to Colton Freeman. Freeman, originally from Laguna Beach, California. It's absolutely gorgeous part down here in Orange County. Playing college baseball all the way across the country at Dartmouth. Batting .340 on the year. Yesterday in that 13-12 loss, he went 2 for 7 as he fouls off the 2-2. 6th pitch of the at-bat coming up to Freeman.
We've seen a few good pitches in a row from Lucian Westberg. He painted the blank to get the count 2-2, 2-2. And then right there, he put one in the zone, forced Colton Miller to do something with it. Forced Colton Freeman to do something with it, rather. He was way out in front of it. Right here, Westberg, he's ahead in the count, and he has the ability to find the strike zone in different ways, whether it be with his fastball or his curveball. Try to go to the zone, switch up speeds, and switch up locations on Colton Freeman.
Westberg set. And now he looks back to second. Allen, he just walks back to second base. He's in there safely. And now we'll lead off again. Grant Smith, the second baseman, he's covering. The 2-2. Inside gets past Sharp. Heading over to third is Allen. And now takes a big lead around third. Westberg comes back to the plate to cover. And now a runner 90 feet away from scoring with the lead 5-0 for the Riptide. Second full count, Colton Freeman seeing.
Right there, Andrew Sharp, a passed ball gets right by him. I know that the location on the pitch was missed, but Sharp, expecting a fastball ran up and in on Westberg, and Sharp not able to handle it. Pass ball gets runner to third.
The payoff pitch, this one's grounded to the shortstop Naviak. Throw from his back foot across the diamond, not in line, but Bobo catches it, tags out the runner. Allen coming in to score from third. The lead now 6-0, but one is gone here in the bottom of the second.
And so we saw for the Riptide them have a big offensive onslaught yesterday between them and Arroyo Seco. It's going to take a similar offensive onslaught today if the Oaks are going to get back into this one.
Snap to the plate, Reed Spenrath. He's up for the second time today. The 3-hole hitter for the Riptide. His first time up, similar to Dwight Allen and Colton Freeman. Had a full count, then walked on the 6th pitch of the at-bat. And now a pitching discussion. And it looks like Coach Solis is talking to Weshberg. Normally when Solis comes out, he's making the change. Right now it looks like he's just trying to talk with Weshberg. I think this is the first time all season that Solis has gone out there and not made the change. Nope, now he will make the change. Weshberg coming out, and now a new pitcher coming in for the Oaks. We're going to step aside and see who the new pitcher is right after this break. The Oaks, they're trailing 6-0. You are listening on the Conejo Oaks live stream presented by KDTV. Knight Uretsky, Ryan Milano with you here in Orange County. We have one out in the bottom of the second inning as the Riptide, they're leading 6-0. A new pitcher on the mound for the Oaks. That's Aiden Garza, the southpaw. The lefty's going to be set to face Reed Spenrath and Adarian Williams for sure. See who else he might face in this inning depending on how things go. Final stat line for Lucian Weshberg, 1 1/3 innings pitch. 11 batters face, 0 strikeouts as first pitch to Spenrath is in there for a strike, 0-1. No strikeouts, 6 walks, 2 hits, and 6 runs. Garza steps off the mound and now back on the mound. Spenrath, the lefty versus lefty matchup. Garza gets him swinging, and now 0-2 to Spenrath. Talked pregame with Garza. Garza said he was going to use his fastball a lot, looking to maybe even work in a 4-seam fastball. His main pitch is a 2-seam fastball, as the 0-2 misses in the dirt. It was an off-speed pitch. Now 1-2. With that 2-seam fastball, gets a lot of movement on it. A lot of weak contact, he says, but really trying to work in that four-seam fastball, a little bit more of a riser pitch as the 1-2. In there for a strike, got him looking. 2 are gone, first strikeout of the day for the Oaks, and it's Aiden Garza's first of the day as well. So 4-pitch at bat to Spenrath, and now 2 are gone.
And right there we saw a very different and very much well-executed at-bat from Aiden Garza compared to Lucian Westberg. Westberg, he was behind in almost all the counts that he saw. Right there, Garza, he threw 2 early strikes, had a pitch to mess with, tried to induce a swing and a miss, and then came back into the zone for a looking K. A perfectly executed at-bat straight out of the pen.
The first pitch in there for a strike to Darian Williams. 0-1 the count. Williams, his first time up, he had a walk on 6 pitches, just like the previous 3 batters. That was all last inning. He came around to score as he now watches the 0-1 inside. The count now 1-1. He was the 4th of the 5 runs scored in the bottom of the first. Now facing off against Aiden Garza for the first time today. He lifts one to right field. Going back is Foreman. Foreman at the track, makes the play, and the inning is over. So Garza comes in, gets 2 straight outs to end the inning. Just the 1 run on the walk from Dwight Allen, and we head to the top of the 3rd inning. The Oaks, they're trailing 6-0. You're listening on the Conejo Oaks live stream presented by KDTV. Knight Uretsky, Ryan Milano with you. The Oaks, they're trailing 6-0. 5 runs in the bottom of the first for the Riptide, 1 in the bottom of the second. As JT Naviak leads off for the Oaks, he grounds one to the second baseman Williams, the throw over to first, and Naviak's retired on the first pitch to him.
And it's a very different story right here for the Riptide than it is for the Oaks. Tony Roby right now for the Riptide, he is just mowing through batters. He had 16 pitches in the first inning, 13 pitches in the second inning. That was a 1-2-3 strikeout inning. And then on the first pitch of the 3rd inning, gets a ground out to start the inning. It has been a display from him.
Roby, the pitch. That one's inside, low to Robert Capozzi. Roby this season, mentioned it, the 2.84 ERA with the Riptide. Swing and a miss from Capozzi, 1-1. He's been effective. His last performance, he went 5 innings and got the win against the Saints. Now dealing against the Oaks, he's had 7 straight outs as he bounces one in the dirt to Capozzi. Now 2-1.
But even in that performance where he did get the win against the Saints, he gave up 8 hits in 5 innings pitched. Right here for the Oaks, he has allowed just 1 hit throughout the entirety of the first 8 batters he's seen.
A 2-0, or 2-1, excuse me, in there for a strike. Count now even 2-2. Roby, a young man, goes to Texas State University, originally from Mansfield, Texas. He's a freshman there this past year. Roby steps off the mound, now back on the mound. 6'4", 215 pounds is the pitcher. The 2-2 misses low and inside. Full count now to Robert Capozzi.
This is the third full count we've seen from Roby today. To end the first, he struck out Burford on a full count, and then to end the second, he struck out Sharp.
Capozzi now a walk on the full count pitch. And now the Oaks, they have a runner on with one out. So after 7 straight Oaks batters were retired, Capozzi gets on with a walk, and now coming up to the plate, Grant Smith, who was the only Oaks player besides Capozzi to get on base. He led off the game with a single. That was to left field. That was the 4th pitch of the at-bat that Smith saw before sending it to left for a single as he fouls off the first pitch to him off his leg. 0-1 to Grant Smith. Roby this past year at Texas State posted a 5.26 ERA in 13 appearances, started 6 games for the Cats. Steps off the mound and now back on. Capozzi leading off from first. Spenrath, the first baseman, holding him there. As the pitch to Smith misses high and inside. Count even 1-1 to Grant Smith. The longest he went all season was 5 innings. That was in a loss against Texas. As Smith pops this one in the air. Drifting back is Espelin, the shortstop. He makes the play. Smith is retired. Capozzi retreats back to first. And 2 are gone here in the top of the 3rd.
And right there for Grant Smith. Pitch outside part of the plate. He was out in front. End of the bat, fly ball, and that's exactly what you expect when you're out in front of a pitch on the outside part. He just skied it on the shallow outfield, and it was an easy play for Espelin to go back and grab.
Snap to the plate, TJ Foreman. As the first pitch to him misses outside, 1-0. Foreman, his first time up, he fouled off a couple of pitches before striking out looking. It was the first K of the day for Roby then. He's had 4 more since that strikeout to Foreman. The 1-0. Foreman grounds to the right side. Spenrath picks it up, retreats to first, taps on the bag. Foreman is retired, and that'll do it for the top of the 3rd inning. No runs come in on no hits, no errors, and 1 runner left on in Capozzi. We head to the bottom of the 3rd inning. The Riptide, they're leading 6-0. You're listening on the Conejo Oaks live stream presented by KDTV. Knight Uretsky, Ryan Milano with you. Bottom of the third inning, 6-0 the score. The Riptide, they lead. Aiden Garza on the mound again. First pitch to Espelin, swung on and fouled to the backstop. 0-1 to Espelin. Espelin, he had the first hit of the day for the Riptide. That was an infield single to the right side. Capozzi slid, made the play, just got up, and there was no play to be made anywhere else. Espelin up for the second time now here in the third inning. Finds himself down 0-1 to Aiden Garza. Lefty on lefty matchup. Garza, the windup, the pitch. This one's grounded to the right side. Brendan Bobo, the first baseman, picks it up, tosses it over to Garza. He taps on first base, and Espelin is retired.
And that's one way to get it done, to tap on the bag. Aiden Garza a little bit disjointed on that play to the bag, where he tapped on the bag kind of awkwardly, but it was successful. He got the out anyways.
So Garza, he came in for Lucian Westberg after Westberg gave up 6 runs on only 2 hits, did walk 6 batters, and since that point he struck out Reed Spenrath looking. Got a fly out to Darian Williams and now a ground out to Tank Espelin. First pitch bounces in the dirt to Efren Cervantes. It's now 1-0 to Cervantes. Cervantes, his first time up, he had a walk on 4 straight pitches. He was later out at second after Cody Dreiss, the man on deck, hit into a double play as Cervantes lifts one to center field into the gap, heading over, and now he's going to run for second, testing Sandoval's arm. The throw, got him! Raul Sandoval, a dart from center field, gets Efren Cervantes, and now 2 are gone.
And right there, that's why Raul Sandoval is in center field. He has an arm and a cannon with the best of them in the CCL. And right there, we've seen a few Riptide members or a few CCL members try to test the arms of the Oaks, either whether it be Antoneros' arm behind the dish in games or now in the outfield with Raul Sandoval. They have paid the price.
First pitch to Cody Dreiss, swing and a miss, 0-1. Mentioned it during Cervantes' at-bat. Dreiss, he had a 6-pitch at-bat. Got a full count before the 6th pitch. He grounded into a 6-4-3 double play. Now facing Aiden Garza for the first time. Swing and a miss from Dreiss, and now he finds himself down 0-2 to Aiden Garza.
And right now the Oaks, they're down 6-0, but they aren't a stranger to trailing to start off games. Through the start of last week, they had given up 17 runs in the first 3 innings, only scored 6 runs through the first 3 innings combined in those games.
And a swing and a miss, foul tip strikeout for Dreiss. The first strikeout, or second strikeout of the day for Garza. A 1-2-3 inning for the Riptide. And we head to the top of the 4th inning. The Oaks, they're trailing 6-0. Wish they were leading. You are listening on the Conejo Oaks live stream presented by KDTV. Knight Uretsky, Ryan Milano with you. Top of the fourth inning. You know what that means. Ryan Milano, the next 3 innings of play-by-play are yours.
Zach Gregory leading off the inning. He saw 1 pitch in this game, the first pitch in the 4th inning, in there for a strike. The count 0-1 to Gregory. In that first inning, he flew out on the infield, attacked the first pitch he saw, was not able to convert with a hit. The 0-1 check swing in the dirt, the count 1-1. He did not go around. Gregory. It says on the CCL site that he is batting .222 in conference play for the season. That, not correct. As Gregory drives one deep to right center field. Traveling back is Allen in the gap. Underneath it makes the play. Gregory barreled one up, but it stayed in the park. And the first out of the inning is recorded.
And Gregory, that at bat, saw a little bit more pitches, and that's basically what he's been doing. He's been barreling up a lot of balls. Was telling me he had an infield pop-up yesterday on like the first pitch that he saw. On that pitch, he said he barreled it up pretty good. Just got a little bit too under it. That time, a little bit too under it. Maybe a centimeter below it. That one could have been out of the park instead of fly out.
Reagan Burford, he saw 6 pitches in his last at-bat, but went down with a strikeout. Check swing at the first pitch, elevated for a ball. The count 1-0 to Reagan Burford. Burford, he has been successful, but more successful towards the end of games as he swings and grounds one towards first base, picked up at first and tapping on the bag in time to get him. That is going to be Reed Spenrath who makes the out. So 2 down here in the inning.
And Burford right there is just a slight dribbler. Thought it was going to go foul. Did not. Stayed in play. Spenrath able to make the play. And now 2 quick outs for the Oaks.
Brendan Bobo, he struck out on 4 pitches his last time up. First pitch to him. Watches it. Up and away for a ball. Count 1-0 early to Brendan Bobo. Bobo struck out in his first at-bat. Struck out twice yesterday. Once in 2 games prior. So he's been prone to the strikeout, but now leads this count 2-0 as the second pitch to him misses inside at the knees. We've seen Tony Roby not be susceptible to the walk today, only giving up 1. That was to Robert Capozzi. Bobo swings through, fouls back a pitch, the count 2-1. Capozzi worked a full count walk, so even in that walk, it wasn't like Tony Roby was missing the zone. Now we see Brendan Bobo. He's seeing a deeper count for one of the most deep counts that the Oaks have seen today. The 2-1. Looks at it, in for a strike. The count now 2-2 to Bobo. So after 2 balls, 2 straight strikes into the zone for Tony Roby. The 5th pitch of the at-bat incoming. The 2-2, outside, a ball. And now we're going to see Tony Roby with the 4th full count that he's faced today. Faced a full count to Reagan Burford to end the first. It ended in a strikeout. To end the second, a strikeout on a full count to Andrew Sharp. And then in the third, he allowed one of the only 2 base runners. And now another strikeout, a 1-2-3 inning. On 6 pitches, Bobo goes down swinging. And the side is retired. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left. To the bottom of the 4th we go. The Oaks, they trail 6-0 on the Conejo Oaks live stream. Bottom of the fourth inning, Ryan Milano, Knight Uretsky. Aiden Garza back on the hill. He's already pitched 1 2/3 innings. Charlie Taylor leading off the bottom of the fourth, watches a strike go by on the inside part of the plate. The count 0-1. 6 runs in the game for the Riptide. Those all credited to Lucian Weshberg. Aiden Garza, since he's come to play, he has been mowing down these Riptide batters. 7 pitches in both of his innings of appearance. Second pitch into Taylor, misses on the outside part of the plate. The count 1-1. And I mentioned in the bottom of the third inning how the Oaks were not successful through the first 3 innings. They were been outscored since the start of last week 17-6 as Taylor cuts through one and misses, the count 1-2. But in the last week, since the start of last week, the Oaks through the innings 4 through 6, they outscore opponents 17-6. Aiden Garza continues his day, his third strikeout. The second looking, Charlie Taylor goes down on 4 pitches.
Man, Garza's just been impressive. Had a 4-pitch strikeout looking to Spenrath to start his performance right there, his 3rd K of the day. He's only allowed 1 hit, and that was to Cervantes, and he was gunned out at second by Sandoval. So overall today, he's gotten out the first 9 batters.
Spencer Servant skies one into right field. It's trailing foul. Foreman looks at it drop out of play. The count 0-1 to Spencer Servants. So 1 out in the inning for Aiden Garza. He has retired the first 6 batters that he's faced. As Servants watches one inside for a ball, the count 1-1. The 1-1 skied out of play. The second foul ball of the at-bat for Servants. The count is 1-2. Aiden Garza, he's been one of the better pitchers for the Oaks so far, at least in conference play. His ERA is 6th on the Oaks in terms of conference play. His ERA for the season, a 4.5, as the 1-2 bounces in for a ball. The count now 2-2. The last performance for Garza, he pitched an inning against the Santa Barbara Foresters on July 1st. He gave up 2 runs on 4 hits. As the 2-2 inside for a ball. The first time we've seen 3 balls today in account for Aiden Garza. First time we've seen 2 balls in account for Aiden Garza as well. So now the 3-2, the deepest that any Riptide member has seen Garza today. The payoff pitch cut through and missed. Garza comes through with his 4th K of the day. And so now 10 pitches in the inning, 4 Ks on the day. And Aiden Garza, throughout the season, has had 4 total strikeouts in his 4 appearances. That came in 8 total innings pitched. Now through 2 2/3 innings, or 2 1/3 innings rather, he has equaled that total with 4 Ks. Top of the order now for the Riptide, Dwight Allen. He's reached base twice, both of those coming on walks, both of those coming around to score in the inning eventually. This is the first time he's facing off against Garza. Catches zone for a strike. The count is 0-1 to Dwight Allen. 1-1 actually. The scoreboard is incorrect. They just updated it. So the 1-1 to Dwight Allen. Cut through, fouled off, caught by Sharp. So a 1-2 count. Aiden Garza has been living ahead to batters. The defensive alignment, Capozzi close to the line at third. Naviak deep shortstop, and Grant Smith at second base, shaded close to the second base bag. Cut through and missed. Garza, he strikes out the side. 1-2-3 inning on 14 pitches. The Oaks, they still trail 6-0, but Aiden Garza is providing a spark. We'll be back for the top of the 5th inning. You're listening to the Conejo Oaks live stream presented by KD.com. Top 5, Raul Sandoval leads things off for the Oaks. Tony Roby, he's still on the hill. He's allowed just 2 base runners so far. Grant Smith in the first inning. That came on a single. Robert Capozzi in the third. The first pitch misses to Raul Sandoval, the count 1-0. Sandoval, his last time up, struck out on 3 consecutive pitches. The 1-0 in. Sandoval way out in front. Slowed it down on him was Tony Roby, and Sandoval waved at a pitch to make it 1-1. The 1-1, cut through and missed. Sandoval out in front again. That pitch located low and away. Tony Roby has been doing a fantastic job in execution and location so far today. The 1-2, Sandoval looks at it, just misses off the plate. The count 2-2. So Raul Sandoval, he struck out to start the day, but he had a tremendous day yesterday. Hit 2 balls off the wall, but he's going to have a 2-strikeout day today as he cuts through the 5th pitch of the at-bat. For Tony Roby, he continues to mow batters down, his 7th K of the day.
And Roby, man, he's just been really, really impressive. I mean, you mentioned the 7 Ks and only 4 1/3 inning at this point, and he's just overpowering batters.
Andrew Sharp steps into the left-handed batter's box, and he gets hit with the pitch on the first pitch of the at-bat. So the Oaks, they get their 3rd base runner of the day. It's Andrew Sharp. So 1 down for JT Naviak as he comes to the plate.
And you can see during the previous at-bat to Sandoval, he had a pitch, Roby did, where he brought a lot of power and caused him to run a little bit outside to Sandoval. Now going to Andrew Sharp, the left-handed hitter, had the same play, except the pitch was inside to the lefty batter and it hit him.
JT Naviak, he's only seen 1 pitch today. First pitch swing, ground out to second base. Now with the runner on, looks at a pitch on the outside part of the plate that just misses the zone. The count 1-0. Andrew Sharp, the lead at first. Spenrath, the man holding him on at the bag. Big gap between second base and first. Naviak grounds one right up the middle. The turn over to first. No throw as Espling, he eats it. Williams was the one who fielded it, so a fielder's choice. And there is still a runner on first. It is now JT Naviak, but now 2 down in the inning.
And that was a very interesting play. It looked like Williams flipped it to Esplin really, really slowly. Looked like they were going in half motion, and there was obviously no play at first. Naviak with his speed. But it was just a very interesting play defensively from the Riptide.
So Naviak now at first. The 9-hole hitter Robert Capozzi to the dish. Watches the first pitch, brush him back on the inside part. The count 1-0. Espelin, the shortstop, is shaded close to the second base bag. We see Williams backed off of that second base bag. A big hole between shortstop and third with Cervantes shaded close to the line. Capozzi thinks about swinging, does not. A good thing, too, because the pitch low and inside for a ball. The count 2-0, 2 outs in the inning, a runner on first, top 5. Big gap in left center, big gap on the left side of the infield. Roby the 2-0. Capozzi looks at one, framed at the knees for a strike. The count 2-1. Taylor, he could get a job at Frames World with that type of frame job.
Like that.
Thank you. The 2-1 to Capozzi. Cuts through and missed. That pitch, center cut, a fastball right down the middle. Capozzi, his front shoulder bailed out, did not stay down on the ball, and that's the reason for the swing and the miss. So the count is 2-2. Naviak at first. He's thinking about going. He doesn't need to because Capozzi, he strikes out. The 8th K of the day for Tony Roby, and the inning is retired. No hits, 1 runner left on, and JT Naviak No runs scored and no errors in the inning. The Oaks, they still trail 6-0. We will head to the bottom of the 5th inning. Aiden Garza, he's trying to continue his strong day on the mound. Bottom 5, 6-0 deficit for the Oaks. Defensive change. Caden Suji, he's now at third. Robert Capozzi, he shifts from the hot corner over to first base. Brendan Bobo takes a seat on the bench. His day is done. Aiden Garza, still on the hill. He has gone through 2 2/3 innings and been nearly perfect. First pitch into the 2-hole hitter Colton Freeman. In there for a strike to lead off the inning. The count 0-1. Garza's retired every single batter he's faced so far as the 0-1 elevated off the plate for a ball. The count 1-1. Not quite perfect as Efrain Cervantes, he singled into the outfield but was gunned down by Raul Sandoval. So no base runners yet for Garza as he elevates one above the zone for a ball. The count 2-1. Colton Freeman, he's been up twice. He's seen full counts twice. Walked in the first and came around to score and then grounded out to shortstop in the second. He's the only batter who has not faced Garza yet today. He now goes up 3-1 as Andrew Sharp goes out and talks to Aiden Garza. As Garza, 3 balls to 1 strike. This is one of the first times we've seen him all day get behind in the count. The only other time was at the end of the order for the Riptide, the second out of the 4th inning. He got down 3 balls to 1, then came back with 2 straight strikes to strike out Spencer Servant swinging. The 3-1 here to Freeman. Misses low, and the first base runner of the day is on, and Colton Freeman continues to sprint down to first base after getting walked. He's now done it twice today. Knight, what do you think about the move to show off your 40 time down the baseline?
You know, I mean, it might make some people on the Oak side a little mad. To me, I think it's hilarious. I think it gets the players in the dugout for the Riptide going. I think it's hilarious to see a man that's 6'4" just absolutely book it down the line after a walk. I don't know. I'm kind of a fan. How about you, Ryan?
First pitch to Reed Spenrath, fouled off, out of play. I don't know. I think the first few times it can be energizing. I think if you're going to do it every time for the entirety of the season, just from my perspective, it might come off as a little bit attention-seeking or a little bit annoying. But I think that if you're doing it for the first couple of times, just getting a few walks and sprinting down the base paths, then I think there's no harm in it. The 0-1 in there at the knees, the count 0-2.
My response to that would be, if there's a pass ball on the 4th pitch walk and you sprint down to first and the catcher still hasn't gotten it in time, you can take off to second.
Absolutely. There's function to it as well. If that is part of his strategy, then absolutely. The 0-2 misses outside, the count 1-2. I used to do that in Little League. I used to sprint down the line after a walk, and that was because there were a lot more pass balls in Little League, and was to impress the coaches with some hustle. Maybe it's to impress the coaches as well from Colton Freeman.
Got to impress the coaches here in the CCL.
This one bounced foul outside of the bag. The 1-2 will remain to Reed Spenrath. Colton Freeman, being held on at first by Robert Capozzi, went to retrieve that foul ball. The infield shaded slightly to the pull side for a left-handed hitter. Colton Freeman, he's the runner on first. Reed Spenrath today struck out in the first time that Aiden Garza faced a batter. Against Lucian Westberg, he walked and came around to score. Garza bounces one. It gets away from Sharp, and advancing to second base is Colton Freeman. And he ran faster down the line after the walk to first base than he did after the pass ball to second base. And we've seen a few times this season where you see someone go from first to third on a pass ball or on a ball on a pickoff that gets away. So if the goal on the walk is to potentially get to second base on a pass ball, then why isn't he sprinting down as fast as he can to second base on an actual pass ball that he knows gets behind the catcher?
I think I don't know. I mean, I think it's a little bit of the hustle and a little bit of the flashy play.
Skied into left. Gregory trips. He gets back up, gets underneath it, and Reed Spenrath is retired. An eventful play, but Zach Gregory makes the best of it. Could have been a stumble, but it results in the first out of the inning.
That's a great response from Garza. Gets a 5-pitch battle with Spenrath right after allowing the walk. Does have the pass ball, which kind of hurts as the runner's now in scoring position. And you're trying to preserve the game and make it still 6-0. But an excellent way to get a fly out. It's exactly what he wants. And, expecting a lot of fastballs in the next couple of at-bats.
Garza checks the runner at second. Smith bails out to the dish. Elevated a ball. Edrain Williams sees the first ball of his third at-bat of the day. The first plate appearance for Williams, a walk. A full-count walk, which drove in a run. It was one of 4 consecutive walks that Lucian Westberg led up in the first inning. Garza to the plate, misses low. The count now 2-0. Then in his second at-bat, he flew out to right field. And we've seen Garza now, after starting out with early strikes to a lot of batters, starting out this inning, he has gotten behind in counts 3 times. He got behind and walked Colton Freeman. He got behind to Reed Spenrath, and now behind 2-0 to Edrain Williams.
And Adarian Williams has been really good in the last couple of games as
caught in a pickoff. Garza stepped off the mound, and Grant Smith tags out the runner. Colton Freeman, his aggressiveness comes back to bite him, and now there's 2 outs in the inning, and the runner in scoring position is now retired.
And that was just silly right there from Freeman. He was showing so much hustle on that trip to first, then he jogged down to second, and then he tried to steal third before the pitch was even gone, so I don't know. It was just a weird amount of circumstances for him. But going back to Adarian Williams, I mean, yesterday had 5 for 6 on the day. Also had a walk. Today he has a walk and 2 plate appearances.
Adarian Williams watches the third pitch of the at-bat miss high. So 3-0 to Adarian Williams, the first time that Aiden Garza has seen a 3-0 strike count so far today. Garza, he's trying to come back in this count. It's the first time we've seen him significantly behind like this. And he misses low, goes between the legs of Sharp, and Adarian Williams not hustling down the line like we saw from Colton Freeman. So even though there was a pass ball on that walk, he's not able to advance. So now a runner on first base with 2 outs.
And you can see a little bit of action now in the bullpen for the Oaks. Eric Maw, the right-hander, he's getting warmed up. Cody Sulak, the bullpen catcher there in the bullpen as Maw, the righty, he's getting warm. A lot of Conejo Oaks fans, they'll remember Eric Maw. It's his 4th year with the Oaks.
Yeah, he's been here a long time. He can tell you about all the future and former broadcasters, all the former teammates for the Oaks. Garza delivers to Tank Espelin. First pitch, a ball. The count 1-0. So Garza opened up with the first 4 batters of this inning, all first pitch balls. Espelin, he reached base with a single, now grounds one off the glove of Capozzi. It squeaks into the outfield. Foreman tracking it down the line. Going first to third is Williams, and a double for Tank Espelin as Capozzi could not handle the hard liner on the ground. It bounced right in front of Capozzi's glove. He had a chance to catch it on the air, but it ate up on the heel of his glove, squeaked into the outfield, and now 2 runners in scoring position with with 2 down in the inning, rather.
And that's a tough play for Capozzi right there. You know, just moved over, now playing first base instead of third base, and, man, gets a liner right to him. Slid down to his knees. That's hard for him. He's 6'8", a lot of size. Couldn't grasp the ball, went off his glove, and because it went off the glove, it slowed down in the outfield and allowed the runner to go from first to third.
So a runner on third, that's a Darian Williams, Tank Espelin on second. First pitch to Cervantes, catches for a strike. The count 0-1. We see Efrain Cervantes. He, so far today, walked and singled, but was gunned out at second base. This time, skies one high into the parking lot, protect the bus. Does not hit the bus. The count now to Cervantes, 0-2. Garza, after going down to the first 4 batters that he saw in the inning, is now ahead 0-2 to the potential last batter that he can see in the inning. Garza's day so far, coming into the inning only through 28 pitches, through 2 2/3. Now 0-2, bounced foul. The 0-2 will continue in the at-bat. Garza, he struck out the side in the 4th, and then struck out 2 more batters throughout the 3rd and 2nd inning, so 5 total strikeouts on the day for Garza, trying to strike out his 6th batter of the day in what could be his potential last inning with Eric Ma warming up in the pen. 2 runners in scoring position. Garza trying to get out of a jam. The 0-2, swing and a miss. Aiden Garza, he gets out of the inning with his 6th strikeout of the day. So no runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 2 runners left on base. The Oaks, they still trail 6-0. We head to the top of the 6th inning. You're listening to the Conejo Oaks live stream. We're here with you in Orange County, back for the top of the 6th. Top of the 6th inning, the Oaks, they're trying to bounce back and battle back from a 6-0 deficit. They're going to do it. It should be most likely here in the 6th inning. they've been most successful here in the 6th inning. As Smith swings through the first pitch for a strike, the count 0-1. Tony Roby continues to deal on the hill. The 0-1 to Smith bounces in a ball, the count 1-1. Smith, he on the day, singled in the first. That is the only hit for the Oaks so far today. He then flew out on the infield in the third. The 1-1 catches the outside part of the plate for a strike. Smith goes down 1-2 in the count. I mentioned the Oaks, they outscore opponents starting last week, at the beginning of last week, 17-6 throughout the middle innings as Smith fights away a pitch. The count still 1-2. The Oaks being outscored in the first 3 and last 3 innings of the game, but when they do get wins, it is in the middle 3 innings, and that's how they generate a lot of their offense. The middle innings are coming to a close here. So the Oaks, if they're going to keep that streak going, have to strike here as Smith lines one into center. Allen takes a step in and settles right underneath it. A fly out to center field for the first out of the inning. And Tony Roby continues to shut down the Oaks. He's allowed just 3 base runners through 5 1/3.
And only since Grant Smith's leadoff single, the Oaks, they haven't had a single hit since. I mean, it's insane. Roby's not allowed to hit since the first batter he faced.
It's just been one of those type of days for the Oaks. TJ Foreman struck out looking in the first, grounded out to first in the third. First pitch to him in the 6th, elevated for a ball, the count 1-0. So 1 ball, no strikes, 1 out, no one on. Big hole between shortstop and third. Foreman grounds one into that hole, and he's going to get a single. So speak of the Devil Knight, because now the Oaks have their first hit since the top of the first inning as TJ Foreman, he gets on with a 1-out single in the 6th.
And I'm happy that I jinxed that right now. You know, that's probably been my best announcer's jinx of the season as TJ Foreman gets on base. And, you know, if you're the Oaks and you're looking to score a run right here, there's nobody else you want on with a single than TJ Foreman. With his speed, he can turn a single into a triple fast with a couple of stolen bases.
And the way that this game has been going, I think TJ Foreman is going to try to steal second and third. Zach Gregory, first pitch to him, catches the letters for a strike, the count 0-1. He's flew out twice so far today. Once on the infield, flew out to third base, and then once into center. That was in the 4th inning. He has not seen pitches as deep or counts as deep as we are used to seeing him. The 0-1 cuts through, foul tipped into the glove. The count 0-2. Foreman has not tried to run on either pitch. Surprising to me. I think that he is going to on this pitch. Reagan Burford, he's on deck. Caden Suji, presumably in the hole. Unless the Oaks want to bring in a pinch hitter, as Suji was a defensive replacement for Brendan Bobo. But I see Suji's helmet sticking out of the dugout, so he is going to be in the hole. Whether that be this inning or next. Foreman not going. The 0-2 misses inside. So Gregory, he stays alive in the count. This is the deepest count he's seen so far today. The 4th pitch of the at-bat coming. Eric Ma still warming up in the bullpen for Conejo. Holding on the runner at first is Spenrath. Roby gets Gregory to think about one, but misses low in the dirt. So Gregory, after going down 0-2, now looking at a 2-2, and this is looking a lot more like the Zach Gregory that we've been accustomed to seeing. Not the Zach Gregory of the last 2 games, who has been swinging at early pitches. This is the deepest count we've seen from him in the last 2 games. And he bounces one foul to stay alive in the count. So the 6th pitch of the at-bat incoming.
And it's similar to yesterday. His first couple of at-bats, he was swinging at a lot of early pitches. His last at-bat, though, he was able to stretch out a 5-pitch walk to him. I think this is a trend early in the game, a little bit of nerves, seeing some good pitches, and he's just barreling them. Hasn't gone down for a single.
The 2-2 fouled off once again. Foreman was running on that pitch, but he's going to have to retreat back to first. It lets the catcher, Taylor, know a little bit about the fact that Foreman, he's thinking about stealing that bag at second. I'm not sure if it's going to matter with any catcher behind the dish, whether it be Charlie Taylor or Yadier Molina. I'm not sure if anyone can catch TJ Foreman stealing.
Well, he has been caught stealing once this season, so probably Yadier Molina.
Maybe Yadier Molina. Jury's still out. The 2-2. Gregory looks at it. It's on the black, but called the ball. Gregory fortunate he did not go down swinging, or not go down looking. So the count now full. The 8th pitch of the at-bat incoming. Tony Roby takes a deep breath on the hill. Comes back to the rubber. TJ Foreman did not go on the last pitch. He is almost definitely going here with the full count. Has to be cautious not to get picked off. The 3-2 to the dish. Foreman running. Gregory fouled off of his leg. So 9 pitches in the at-bat after the next pitch that is incoming. 8 total pitches so far. Foreman now have to make the trot back to first base for the second time in the inning. The Oaks, they trail the Riptide in the hit department 4-2. They trail in the run department 6-0. There has been 6 consecutive empty frames from both the Riptide and the Oaks. So the Riptide did all their damage on the first 2 innings. Full count to Zach Gregory. 9th pitch of the at-bat. Big hole between shortstop and third. The 3-2. Foreman running. Gregory fouls off another pitch. So the Zach Gregory of old has come back out to play. 10 pitches now coming in the at-bat. It is one of the longest at-bats of the season that we've seen for any Oak. The longest one that I can recount in memory came against the Slow Blues to end last weekend, where Brendan Bobo walked on an 11-pitch at-bat. This, I believe, is tied for the second longest at-bat for any Oak this season, with the 10th pitch incoming. Foreman going to be running at first. He's not running, actually. Gregory fouls off another pitch. And now, tied for the longest pitch of the at-bat, 11 pitches on the next pitch to Zach Gregory.
And a little fun fact right now, TJ Foreman, he's on first base. He goes to Austin Pay. The catcher, Taylor, he goes to Tennessee. And these two teams, Austin Pay and Tennessee, played this past year. And TJ Foreman, he had 3 hits and 5 at-bats.
Foreman running. The 11th pitch misses, and Zach Gregory gets on with an 11-pitch walk. It's the best at-bat that we've seen from Zach Gregory on the season, and we have seen a lot of fantastic at-bats from him.
And, man, he just kept on fouling away pitches, just working the count. And, you know, with a guy in Roby that's pitched a lot today, just working that pitch count up. Already in this inning, he's thrown 18 pitches.
That's going to bring up Reagan Burford. Burford struck out in the first inning. That came on a full count. Grounded out to first in the 4th inning. Now has 2 runners on. Check swing on the first pitch. Did he go around? They say he did. So the count 0-1. I was looking down at the first base umpire to see what his sign was, but the home plate umpire called it himself. The wrists were broken by Reagan Burford. Keaton Suchi on deck. Raul Sandoval in the hole. The 0-1. Inside, catches the plate for a strike. The count 0-2. Burford, he brushed it back. He should not have, as now he is down in the count. Foreman at second with speed. Gregory at first with speed of his own. Big gaps between second and first base and shortstop and third. Roby steps off the hill. Tries to get the sign again and now tells the catcher to come to the mound. He wants to go over signs with Charlie Taylor. And right now, a ball in the gap for Reagan Burford. Probably scoring Foreman. Definitely scoring Foreman if it's in the outfield. And then Zach Gregory on a ball in the gap. He has speed. Field dimensions, 325 to dead left. 400 to dead center, 325 to dead right, so an even field here. The 0-2 to Gregory. Or excuse me, the 0-2 to Burford. Elevated off the plate. The count 1-2 now. Reagan Burford, in the last few games, he's cooled off a little bit, but he has heated up towards the end of games. The 1-2 misses outside. The count now 2-2. So yesterday, Burford, he was retired on his first 2 at-bats, but then reached base on his last 2. The game before, he was retired on his first at-bat, then reached base on his last 4 at-bats. So we've seen recently for Reagan Burford him be able to, after going down early in games, bounce back with strong at-bats and reach base. This would be a big spot for the Oaks to try to bounce back and score some runs, as Reagan Burford now seeing a 2-2 count with 1 out and 2 runners on. The Oaks, they're trailing 6-0. Burford swings, grounds 1 to third. The tag not applied at third base. The throw to second is in time, so Gregory out on a fielder's choice. The third baseman, Cervantes, he's down on the infield. Foreman, he tried to hold up to avoid him, and it looks like a little bit of a twisted ankle right there. Head coach Steve Solis, he's going to come out to talk. And the Riptide, they think the inning is over. They're coming into the dugout. TJ Foreman, not sure if it is. I didn't see the tag on Foreman. The body's touched, but the tag wasn't applied.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's interference. That's what I can think, is that he got in the way of the play as he was throwing the ball. I don't know.
And right there, the base runner is entitled to the base path. He has to try to avoid the play, which TJ Foreman did. He held up dead in his tracks and tried to avoid Cervantes. The ball took Cervantes into Foreman. But it looks like the inning is going to be over. So we're going ahead to the top of the 7th inning. Head coach Dave Solis not happy about it at all. Nonetheless, the Oaks, they trail 6-0. Top 7 we go. You're listening to the Conejo Oaks live stream on YouTube. Bottom 6, Aiden Garza's day is done. It was a fantastic day out of the pen for him. 3 2/3 innings, allowed just 2 hits, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts, and no earned. So Aiden Garza, a great performance, and Eric Ma, his first time on the hill for quite a while. He suffered a minor injury that held him out for about a week, but now back on the mound. First pitch to him, a strike. The count 0-1 to Cody Drees.
And it's been a while since we've seen Ma, like you said.
The 0-1, Drees ducks out. The count 1-1.
But Ma, I mean, a lot of Oaks fans, they're going to remember him. He's pitched for the Oaks in 4 years. He's had a lot of experience, has a filthy splitter.
The 1-1, elevated, inside, misses. The count 2-1. So Eric Ma located the first pitch well. Now missed the last 2 pitches. He was talking to me about that splitter. He said that it hasn't had the same movement that he's liked from it, but he is working it back as he cuts through and misses. Ma ahead in the count now 2-2 with a 2-strike count early here to Cody Drees. The 2-2. Ma catches his own. First batter he faces, a 5-pitch strikeout, and Eric Ma back on the hill for the first time in a while and back to his usual form, striking out batters.
That's a great way to come back after the injury. A 5-pitch at bat, which you get a guy looking. And poor for Dreis, that's his second strikeout of the day, and he also had a double play he grounded in, so just a tough day for the Riptide's DH.
Charlie Taylor, first pitch to him fouled off against the screen, the count 0-1. Taylor, he had an RBI single in the first inning and then struck out to lead off the fourth. That was the first strikeout for Aiden Garza in what was a 1-2-3 inning consisting of 3 consecutive strikeouts. Ma misses just high and away on the 0-1. The count is 1-1. Grant Smith shaded close to directly behind the second base bag. JT Naviak shifted towards third, and Caden Suji close to the line. Capozzi off the bag at first as well. Sharp cannot catch the ball that is elevated, so the count is 2-1. Hit Sharp right in the webbing of the glove, but squeezed out. No runners on base, no runners advance. The count is 2-1. The 2-1 pitch, thinks about it, does not go. The count is 3-1. It hits off the padding of the umpire. Everyone is okay. That's what the padding is for behind the dish. You can't stand back behind the plate watching 90 miles per hour come at you.
It's actually a foul ball.
Oh, a foul ball.
So it's 2-2.
And that's why Sharp didn't catch it. So the 2-2 count. Misses the plate. Now it is worked full at 3-2. Thank you for the correction, Knight. So Eric Ma saw a 2-strike count in his first batter faced. He struck him out swinging. Now a full count here. Payoff pitch. Brushes back Charlie Taylor. He gets aboard with a 1-out walk.
And Ma, it was not the bat that he saw to Dreis. Worked a full count. Ends in a walk, and it's unfortunate for him, but had a 2-2 count. It was a favorable count for him, and then just missed a pitch just outside, and then one that ran a little too up and in.
Spencer Servans, he's gotten out twice so far today in his 2 at-bats. His third at-bat starts out with a big swing and a miss. He struck out swinging in the fourth. Again, part of that strikeout the side inning from Aiden Garza. And then in the first inning, he ended the inning flying out to first base. Pick off over to first. Capozzi squeezes it, but back way in time is Charlie Taylor. The count, 0-1. The pitch in there for a strike at the knees. So Ma had 0-2. He's had 2 strikes to all 3 batters that he's faced so far today. Eric Ma coming off of an injury, coming back to the plate, and having a strong first inning of outing. The 0-2 misses high, the count 1-2. Ma on the season, he's had 3 1/3 innings pitched. He was credited for the loss against the Foresters, his last outing on June 22nd. He pitched 2 1/3 innings, gave up 3 earned. That was in his last start, as Servants stays alive as he fouls off a pitch back to the screen. The count still 1-2. In the first outing for Ma, he pitched a full inning against the Crawdads, allowed 2 earned runs in that outing as well. The 1-2 just misses the outside part of the plate. Sharp tried to frame it, could not get the call. The count 2-2. Spencer Servants trying to get on for his first time today. 1 out here in the inning. Time is approaching 8 p.m. local time as Servants stays alive in the count. 6 pitches already in the at-bat, the 7th incoming from Eric Ma.
And Ma right now, he just needs to throw a strike. Got to let the guys hit the ball. Maybe a splitter low in the zone. You have a runner on first. A splitter low in the zone could result in a ground out.
The 2-2 skied high to center field. Sandoval going back. He's at the track and settles there for an out. A fly out from Spencer Servants. 2 down in the inning, and retreating back to first is Charlie Taylor.
And right there, Ma gets the fly out. Not a ground out like I was talking about, but the fly out gets an out. You have 2 outs now, just the runner on first. Right now, you should be focused about getting Dwight Allen out and getting out of this inning without surrendering another run.
Dwight Allen, he's seen the plate 3 times today. Walked in his first 2 at-bats. Came around to score in his first 2 times up. First pitch to him in his 4th at-bat misses low. The count 1-0. In his last at-bat, he struck out swinging on 4 pitches. The conclusion of Garza's striking out the side in the 4th. The 1-0 misses low. The count is 2-0. Capozzi holding the runner on at first. Foreman and the outfield, they're shaded towards the pull side for a right-handed hitter. The 2-0 catches the zone 2-1. A big gap down the line. Foreman, he is shaded significantly into right center. So opposite way down the line would be a hit, but now down 0-2 is Dwight Allen. Allen has not hit the ball yet today.
And you know, with the shift like that, there's not many hit balls down the right field line from a right-handed hitter. The analytics will tell you maybe once out of 99 times their ball will be hit that way, and if so, so be it.
The 2-2 elevated, the runner goes, he's still second and the count is full. So a full count to Dwight Allen. Charlie Taylor steals second base. The throw from Sharp not in time, a little bit too high. 2 outs still. Dwight Allen with the full count. Eric Ma trying to get out of the inning. 2 outs. Runner in scoring position. Stepping off the mound is Ma. Taylor, he retreats back to second, gets his lead back. And now Eric Ma ready for the payoff pitch. The 3-2 just misses low. The inning will continue.
That's a tough break right there for Ma. It's a battle. You get a full count. The runner goes, but he steals second. You're still in it. You have another pitch, and just below the knees. It was a very close one. Could have gone either way. Goes in the favor of the Riptide. And now they have 2 runners on with 2 outs.
And that brings up Colton Freeman. He's reached base twice today. Walked in the first, came around to score. Walked in the 5th, was stranded, and actually was caught in between the bag, caught stealing. As Garza stepped off the mound, the first pitch to him, a ball. The count 1-0 again to him early. He also had an RBI on a ground out in the second inning. That scored the 6th run of the game for the Riptide, the final run that we've seen for either team. The 1-0 catches his own. Sharp can't squeeze it. The count 1-1. And right there, a pitch right in the zone. Andrew Sharp and the pitcher Eric Ma were in sync as the pitch was located right to the glove, but Sharp just couldn't squeeze it.
Yeah, it looked like Sharp may have tried to catch it and then flip it into his throwing hand from the glove. Misjudged it, and the ball got away from him.
The 1-1. Sharp squeezes this time on the zone at the bottom of the zone. 1-2 with a strike at the knees. So Ma, again, 1 strike away from getting out of the inning. He's had 2 strikes to every batter that he's faced. 5-pitch strikeout to lead off the inning. 6-pitch walk, 7-pitch flyout, and a 6-pitch walk again. As we see Freeman stay alive, he will see now the 5th pitch of this at-bat to him. Big lead on first for Dwight Allen. Capozzi not holding him on. Smaller lead at second for Charlie Taylor. Ma, he comes set. The 1-2 misses, get away from Sharp. The runners will advance, so now 2 in scoring position with 2 down in the inning. Now we've seen Andrew Sharp not only today but all season have struggled holding the ball behind the dish and keeping it in front of him.
Yeah, definitely. Out of the 3 catchers, and Anson Arrows, Caden Suji, and here with Sharp, he's had the most amount of pass balls, it seems like, between those 3 catchers. And those are the ones that have been seeing significant playing time.
The 2-2 fouled straight back. The at-bat will continue. 7 pitches in the at-bat thus far. Now 2 runners in scoring position. Grant Smith has the duty of keeping Dwight Allen close at second, but he is not holding the runner on very closely. Neither is Suji at third with Taylor. The 2-2, Ma gets him out in front, grounder up the middle. Naviak can't get it. It leaks into the outfield, and 2 runs are going to score a 2-out, 2-strike RBI single up the middle for Colton Freeman.
And that's just a tough break right there for Eric Ma. I mean, you have 2 runners on, both of them reaching on walks. You get 2 strikes to the batter, and you can't execute. It's a single right up the middle, and the inning's extended, and 2 more runs come in to score. You know, you thought Eric Ma, first time back after the injury, was going to have a great performance after that first looking strikeout to Dreiss, but since then, it's just nothing's been going his way, it feels like.
First pitch to Reed Spenrath, swing and a miss, strike 1. And Ma's had his stuff, and he's been throwing strikes. He's had 2 strikes to every batter, but he just hasn't been able to have his strikeout stuff today. He did strike out the first batter of the inning, but since then, he's had 2 strikes on every batter and hasn't been able to retire them. This one skied high in foul territory. Suji gives it a look. It bounces off one of the tarps in foul territory for the Riptide. The count, 0-2. So now we see Eric Ma once again with a 2-strike count. The runner on first being held on by Capozzi. That is Colton Freeman. Eric Ma trying to get out of the inning. Reed Spenrath, he's reached base once today. He walked in the first. Now grounds one outside of the bag at first. It is still 0-2. Again, we see Eric Ma in a 2-strike count not be able to retire the batter, give up foul balls. And it's not a bad thing if you're throwing strikes and giving up foul balls, but you also have to have some of that strikeout stuff.
You definitely do have to have that strikeout stuff, and that's how you get batters out.
The 0-2 cut through and miss. He brought the strikeout stuff, and the inning is over. 2-run score on a single hit. 1 runner was left on first base, and no errors in the inning. We will head to the top of the 7th inning. You're listening to the Conejo Oaks live stream. The Oaks they trail 8-0. Ryan Milano, Knight Uretsky back here for the top of the 7th inning. The final 3 innings of play-by-play, they belong to you, Knight.
Caden Suji, he's going to lead it off. He's going to be in the game for Brendan Bobo. Bobo, he had 2 strikeouts to start this game as Suji grounds the first pitch to the shortstop. Adarian, he throws over to first. In there is the play. Excuse me, that was Esplin, the shortstop, as he threw over to first. First pitch swinging for Suji, and it's a 6-3 play. And now, coming up to the plate, Raul Sandoval, as he stands in today for the 3rd time with 1 out, nobody on. Still, Tony Roby, he's pitching for the Riptide. Swing and a miss from Sandoval. It's 0-1. Roby today, he's pitched 6 1/3 innings pitch. He's only thrown 91 pitches with that last pitch, but he has 8 strikeouts on the day. Swing and a miss from Sandoval, and Sandoval's now down 0-2. Sandoval, his previous 2 plate appearances, he had a strikeout in the 2nd inning and another strikeout in the 5th inning. Hoping to not strike out for the 3rd time today as he fouls one away. 0-2 will do it again. The 4th pitch of the at-bat coming up to Sandoval. Sandoval, originally from Oxnard, went to Oxnard College and now heading to Davis to go play with the UC Davis Aggies in the fall, as he swings and he strikes out for the 3rd time today. So 2 doubles yesterday for Sandoval. Today, 3 strikeouts in his first 3 at-bats, and now 2 quick outs in the inning for the Oaks. And coming up to the plate, Andrew Sharp, the catcher. Sharp coming up with nobody on, 2 outs. So far in this inning, 95 pitches now for Roby. In this inning, 5 pitches in the inning already for Roby with the 2 outs. As Sharp looks at the first pitch to him, it's called for a strike. 0-1 to Andrew Sharp. Sharp coming into this at-bat. He struck out and was hit by a pitch in his last at-bat. He was later out at second after JT Naviak grounded into a fielder's choice. Swing and a miss from Sharp, and he's down 0-2. Entering the game, he was batting .300 in conference play in 3 games. His last time he played, he had a home run. It was a 2 RBI home run. That was against the Pirates of Ventura County. The 0-2. That one outside. Roby thought he got him looking. He was walking towards the dugout. Half the players of the Riptide, they started walking towards the dugout. Sharp, he stayed in the box. The umpire said, no, that's a ball. And now it's 1-2 to Andrew Sharp. Roby, the young man out of Mansfield, Texas, the Texas State product. A curveball in the dirt. Count now 2-2 to Andrew Sharp. JT Naviak, the shortstop, he's on deck, and Robert Capozzi, he's now at first base after starting the game at 3rd base. He's in the hole, but 2 outs, nobody on, and a 2-2 count to Andrew Sharp. Swing and a miss from Sharp. The 10th strikeout of the day for Roby, and a 1-2-3 inning for the Oaks. We head to the bottom of the 7th inning. The Oaks, they're trailing 8-0. It's just not been their day. You are listening on the Conejo Oaks live stream presented by KDTV. Will Kokiar now on the mound for the Oaks. He's coming in for Eric Ma after Ma gave up 2 runs in the bottom of the 6th inning. Only allowed 1 hit for Ma, but Ma, he faced 6 batters. 2 of them got on with walks. 2 of them both scored after a 2 RBI, 2-out single on 2 strikes from Colton Freeman. And now up to the plate, Darian Williams, the second baseman, to face off against the big, tall right-hander in Will Kokiar. First pitch misses. It's 1-0 to Williams. Williams today, 2 walks, 1 in the first and 1 in the 5th. He had a fly out in the second, so an 0 for 1 day for Williams. As he swings at the second pitch to him, this one's lifted to left field. Going back and over his head is Gregory as he misread that fly ball. Heading over to second base now is Williams, and the leadoff man's aboard in scoring position for the Riptide.
And I actually believe that might be a new player in left field. It doesn't look like Zach Gregory. Gregory, he has a lighter glove, and that looks like a darker glove to me. So it might be a different defensive player, and we can get that to you once we find it out.
I believe that's actually Suji in left field. I believe Andrew Sharp has now moved to first base. Capozzi back to third, and it looks like Cody Sulak is going to be catching.
So a new defensive alignment for the Oaks that we haven't seen yet this season.
Pitches inside to Espelin, So the leadoff man, Williams, he's at second. A lot of defensive rearrangement for the Oaks. Sulak behind the dish. Capozzi at third again. Sharp at first and Suji in the left field. First time all year we've seen it, like you said, Ryan, as the pitch is inside. 2-0 to Espelin. And I was reading about Espelin, and Espelin has an interesting story. Played his ball at Orange Lutheran, was set to go to USC, then COVID happened. In the middle of that time, the MLB draft shortened their draft from 40 rounds to 5 rounds, resulting in a lot of players not being drafted and a lot of juniors coming back as Espelin catches a strike. It's 2-1. So USC, they had 4 infielders that were set to go to the draft. None of them were drafted, and they didn't have the scholarships for Espelin. So at the last second, Espelin lost his scholarship to USC, didn't have a place to go, finally got a call in Bloomington, Indiana, and he went out there to play at Indiana this past year. As he grounds one up the middle, Naviak throws over to first. Sharp misreads it as the first baseman. It goes off of his glove and behind and on safely is Espelin.
And so we've seen already twice this inning where the defensive alignment for the Oaks has allowed 2 base runners to get on for the Riptide, where I presume that ball that was hit deep to left field probably would have been caught if Zach Gregory was still there. And then that ball at first base, Andrew Sharp, he stretched forward, but the ball was a little bit down the line. So if he would have stretched just a little bit to his left, then he would have been able to make the play.
So far in this inning, Darian Williams, he had a leadoff double, then an error on the play from Sharp as the throw was over. Just Sharp went off of his glove as the pitch is inside for a ball to Cervantes, 1-0. Cervantes today, he had a strikeout in the 5th, a single in the 3rd, and a walk in the 1st, so he's gone and on board twice today. Stands in with no outs, runners on the corners. Kokiar, the pitch. This one's fouled away out of the stadium. One of the few times we've seen it. Saw it once earlier, almost hit the bus. Nevertheless, 1-1 the count to Cervantes. Cervantes, the third baseman, got in a collision earlier with TJ Foreman. That ended the 5th inning. As he swings and misses at the 1-1, he now falls behind 1-2 to Kokiar. Kokiar, young man from Pacific Palisades, California, goes to Georgia Tech. Big, tall fella, 6'8", 235 pounds. As a swing and a miss from Cervantes, the first strikeout of the day for Kokiar, and one is gone with runners on the corners and 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th.
And Knight, let's talk a little bit about the CCL standings implications for this game. Because right now, it looks like it's going to be a Riptide win. They are up 8-0. I don't presume that a comeback is on for the Oaks, and if there is, then we'll have to change this conversation. But right now, the Oaks, they're tied for third place in the standings.
First pitch to Dreiss is in there for a strike. 0-1 to Dreiss.
So they are a game ahead of the OC Riptide. They drop this game, the Oaks do. Then they will both meet at 5-6 on the CCL season. They will be tied for fourth place.
Pitch is high. 1-1 now.
And so it's important. We still don't know entirely how the CCL playoffs are going to shake out with the addition of the North. But we presume that it's either going to be the top 2 teams or the top 4 teams from the South that will be able to be represented in the CCL playoffs. And so right now the Oaks, they are in treacherous territory if they drop this game or continue to drop games down the line.
Curveball is in there for a strike from Kokiar. Now 1-2 the count to Dreiss. Dreiss today, a poor day for the Riptide. Grounded into a double play, struck out swinging on 3 pitches in the third, and struck out looking in the last inning in the 6th. He led off the inning with that strikeout looking. Now down 1-2. Runner goes, swing and miss at the dish. Dreiss goes down for the 3rd time today. It's a sombrero for him as now Espelin, he steals second. 2 gone, back-to-back Ks for Kokiar, 2 on the day for him now. And now up to the plate, Charlie Taylor, the catcher. He stands in with 2 runners in scoring position and 2 outs. Back-to-back Ks for Kokiar after allowing a double and Espelin reaching on air. A ball bounces in the dirt. Sulak stops it. It's now 1-0 to Taylor. Taylor today, a single. That was in the 1st inning. He broke his bat on that. He scored a run. Coming around to score was Espelin. That was the last of the 5 runs that scored in the 1st inning. Then he struck out looking in the 4th against Aiden Garza, and then he walked and stole a base in the 6th inning. The 1-0 misses. It's now 2-0 to Taylor. He stole a base, then got to 3rd. He came around to score on the 2 RBI, 2 out, 2 strike single from Colton Freeman. And that's why we're here 8-0. Swing and a miss from Taylor. 2-1 the count now as Kokiar gets a strike.
Kokiar, he's been throwing strikes throughout this entire inning. We saw the first 2 batters. They swung early in the count, so we didn't see them get too deep. But since then, Kokiar has been getting ahead in counts, been getting strikes to batters, and right here, even down 2-1, comes back with a strike on the black after the 1-0 pitch was a strike that could have gone either way.
The 2-1. This one's fouled away by Taylor, coming right back towards us. Bounces up on the upper deck up here. And still a foul ball. 2-2 the count now to Taylor. And that one, Ryan, I definitely think you could have gotten.
I need to take the headset off.
Take the heads off, run. Come on, Ryan. I think you got to have had that one. It's the first time all year we've gotten a ball this close. As Taylor strikes out swinging. Kokiar, 3 straight Ks to end the inning after a double and an error. 2 runners left stranded in scoring position. The Oaks, they're coming up to bat as they trail 8-0. You're listening on the Conejo Oaks live stream presented by KDTV. Knight Uretsky, Ryan Milano with you. Top of the 8th inning, the Oaks, they're trailing 8-0. New pitcher on the mound for the Riptide. That's Matthew Maudry. He's set off to face JT Naviak, Robert Capozzi, and Grant Smith. The final line for Tony Roby, 100 pitches in 7 innings, as the first pitch to Naviak is in there for a strike. Faced 25 batters, had 10 strikeouts, only walked 2 of them, and had 0 runs given up. As a swing and a miss from Naviak. It's now 0-2. So Maudry goes to the University of Arkansas, teammates with a couple of Oaks players, Zach Gregory and Evan Gray. As this one's grounded from Naviak, gets past the third baseman Cervantes. In there safely is Naviak at first, and a leadoff single to the first batter that faces off against Matthew Maudry. Naviak got down 0-2, then battled back, had a high chopper that just got past the third baseman Cervantes, and the leadoff man's aboard. And coming up to the plate is Robert Capozzi, the third baseman. Saw him at third, then he moved to first, then back to third. Now stands into the plate for the third time today. Naviak leading off from first. Lefty-on-lefty matchup as Maudry steps off the mound. Now back on the mound. He's set to face the big left-hander in Capozzi. The first pitch, Capozzi fouls away. It's 0-1. Capozzi today, he walked on 6 pitch at bat. That was in the 3rd inning. Then in the 5th inning, he struck out. It was a 5-pitch at bat to him. He saw a 2-2 count, so he had a full count in the 3rd inning that he walked. Then a 2-2 count in the 5th inning that he struck out. Now finds himself down 0-1. Throw back to first, Naviak in there safely. The ball bounced, hit Naviak. Didn't find the mitt of the first baseman, Spenrath. But everything all squared away. Maudry on the mound as he's set. The 0-1. Capozzi fouls this one away. Capozzi now down 0-2. Maudry this season, he has a 1-2 record. His last decision came on June 27th. That was a loss to the Saints, 3-4. Pitched 3 innings in that game. Gave up 1 earned run and 4 hits. So the 1 earned run in those 3 innings was the deciding factor. As the Riptide, they lost 4-3 to the Saints. The 1-2. Got him looking. Capozzi goes down looking. And now 1 is gone with a runner on first. And coming up to the plate, Grant Smith, who's the leadoff man. Naviak, he's still on first. But Smith today stands in for the 4th time to face off now against Matthew Maudry. Originally went up against Tony Roby. And Roby, we all know, he pitched a gem. 10 strikeouts in 7 innings through 100 pitches. As the first pitch to Smith is in there for a strike, 0-1. Grant Smith today, he had a single to lead off the game on the 4th pitch he saw, sent it to left field. Then in the 3rd inning, he flew out to the shortstop. And then in the 6th inning, flew out to the center fielder. Has a chance here with a runner on first, 1 out. Maudry throws back to first. In there safely is Naviak. Still awaiting the 0-1 is Grant Smith. Sun beginning to set here in Orange County. It's a beautiful night here in Irvine. Got here and the wind was slightly breezy and perfect weather for baseball. The 0-1 to Smith misses outside. 1-1 now to Grant Smith. Again today, Grant Smith, he's playing second base. We've seen him all over the diamond. It's probably the 2nd or 3rd time we've seen him at second base, but consistently a third baseman or a shortstop.
And I define him as just a utility infielder.
And yes, an utility infielder indeed. As Smith, he fouls this one right up back behind us. That one was another close foul ball we could have got. Nevertheless, now 1-2 the count to Grant Smith. 1 out, runner on first in Naviac. Maudry, his last time he threw, it was a win against the Saints. He threw 1 1/3, gave up 2 runs that were earned, 3 runs overall, had 5 hits that he gave up, and only struck out 1 as he set with a 1-2 count to Smith. The pitch. Smith rips a single to center field. Touching second now is Naviac. He takes a turn around second, heads back. Fielding it now is Allen as he throws it in. And a 1-out single for Grant Smith advances the runner, and 2 men are aboard. And coming up to the plate now is Scott Radinsky Jr. as he's going to pinch hit for TJ Foreman.
And right now we're just seeing Dave Solis really empty out the lineup, empty out the bench, get everyone playing time, because it's going to take a big-time comeback for the Oaks to come back in this game. So just get everyone at bats that doesn't typically get at bats, get them experience so that you can use them in big spots when you need them later.
First pitch to Radinsky, misses, 1-0. Radinsky, the son of pitching coach of the Oaks, Scott Radinsky. Scott Sr., he played in the MLB, also was in a couple of bands, and also owned a skate park in Simi Valley. Second pitch to Radinsky, in there for a strike, 1-1. Radinsky this season, he's had 1 at bat. He scored a run this season as a pinch runner, but in that 1 at bat, he was 0 for 1 as a ball is in the dirt. Count now 2-1 to Scott Radinsky Jr. So did score 1 run on a pinch run opportunity. That run came against the Barons in an 18-10 victory for the Oaks. That was that long 4-hour and 20-minute game as he hits one to the second baseman, Williams, who flips it to the shortstop, Espian. In there safely, no. So Espelin didn't field it correctly on the bag. In there safely is now Smith, and the bases are juiced with 1 out.
And right there, Espelin, his foot came off the bag after he caught the ball, or before he caught the ball, so his foot was on the bag. He caught the ball after his foot left the bag, so Smith safe at second base.
So Radinsky on first, Smith on second, and now Naviac at third. And coming up to the plate is Cody Sulak. Cody Sulak, seen him a lot as the bullpen catcher. Used to be the bullpen catcher for the Oaks back when he was 15 and 16 years old, going into his junior and senior year of high school. Stands in with his biggest at bat of the season as he has the bases loaded with 1 out.
And all he's done all season is just be effective. He's just been able to get on base and have sustainable and successful at-bats every time he's come up.
Cody Sulak, he's played in 3 games this season. This is his 4th. He has 4 walks in the year, and he's 1 for 3 hitting the ball. So he's reaching base 5 out of the 8 times he's come to the plate. First pitch to Sulak in there for a strike. 0-1 to Cody Sulak. His last time he played, that was against the Ventura County Pirates in that 5-3 victory last weekend. Reached twice on walks, scored both times. Pitch is low to Sulak. 1-1 the count. Bases are loaded after a single from Naviac, another single from Grant Smith, and then a miscued fielder's choice error from the shortstop Espelin. Pitch is in there for a strike to Sulak. He falls behind now 1-2.
And he's seen counts deep all season long. In his at-bats, especially his last performance, he saw 2 5-pitch at-bats and a 6-pitch at-bat, including 2 walks. So he has been seeing a lot of pitches and seeing counts deep.
The 1-2. Sulak fouls away. 5th pitch of the at-bat coming up to Cody Sulak with a 1-2 count. Still the bases loaded, just 1 out. Sulak goes down swinging, which he's done twice this season. Then The on-deck man is going to be Brendan Durfee. See him on deck holding 2 bats, taking his practice hacks with that. The 1-2. Sulak strikes out swinging, his 3rd strikeout of the year. He's now 1 for 4 on the year with 1 hit being a double. But now 2 are gone. Second strikeout of the day and 2nd strikeout of the inning for Maudry. And now up to the plate, Brendan Durfee. He's going to be pinch hitting, so 3 straight pinch hitters for the Oaks. Radinsky, he's on first. Grant Smith on second. JT Naviak on third. Matthew Maudry on the mound. First pitch to Durfee, misses, low, 1-0. Top of the 8th inning, the Oaks, they're trailing 8-0. Only 4 hits on the day for the Oaks. 2 of them have been Grant Smith. As the 1-0 in there for a strike. Count even 1-1. JT Naviak, he has one of the other hits. That was a single for him. That was in this inning. And really, that's pretty much been all the offense for the Oaks as Durfee hits this to left field. Fielding it there is Servern, and the inning is over. So 3 runs are left stranded after 2 hits and an error, and the bases were left open with 1 out. The Oaks back-to-back outs after a Sulak strikeout and a Durfee flyout. We head to the bottom of the 8th. The Oaks, they're trailing 8-0. You are listening on the Conejo Oaks live stream presented by KDTV. Knight Uretsky, Ryan Milano with you. Bottom of the 8th inning. The Oaks, they're trailing 8-0. Brandon Madrigal, the man on the mound now for the Oaks, as the first pitch is in there for a strike to Spencer Servin. Servin, a young man that goes to University of Texas, Rio Grande Valley, as the second pitch to him misses, low and away, 1-1. Final line for Kokiar. He threw 19 pitches, didn't allow a run, had 1 hit. It was a single and 2 walks. Excuse me, a single and an error as the pitch is outside. 2-1, allowed a double. I don't know where I'm at. I'm wrong inning. Second, he allowed a double to start, then an error, allowed a runner on. 2 runners were on base, and then 3 straight strikeouts for Kokiar, as this one's fouled away. Came right by us. That one actually almost ended up on the deck up here. We're not in the press box here at the Great Park stadium. We're right next to the press box in this upper deck part, and the ball came and it went right next to us as it was a swing and a miss for Servin, a strikeout to Brandon Madrigal to the first batter he faced, and now one is gone in the bottom of the 8th inning.
And I just want the record to state that if I was not on the broadcast and I was not sitting in the chair, I would have been able to go and grab that one. Glove or not, barehanded or not, the athleticism, actually not much athleticism would have been required for that play.
No, not at all. So, now, coming up to the plate, Dwight Allen. First pitch to him in there for a strike. Madrigal, his last time he pitched, was the most impressive outing of the season for Madrigal. Pitched 2 innings, only allowed 2 hits, no runs given up, and he had 4 strikeouts. Got him to whiff on an off speed here, and now 0-2 to Dwight Allen. Allen, today, 3 walks, 1 in the first, second, and 6, and a strikeout in the 4th, so 0 for 1 today, but has reached base 3 times and has scored all 3 times he's reached. The 0-2 misses away. It's now 1-2 to Dwight Allen. Madrigal, his ERA overall this season, 8.52, but in league play, 3.00. The 1-2 misses away. It's now 2-2 to Dwight Allen. Allen goes to the University of Georgia from Milton, Georgia, as he swings at an off-speed pitch, grounded to the third baseman. Capozzi goes off of his glove and into the outfield. Heading around first and heading to second now is Allen. Fielding it in left field is Suji as he throws it in. Allen to second on a double. And now a runner in scoring position for the Riptide with 1 out.
So it's hard to keep track of the defensive substitutions for the Oaks. I do still believe that is Suji in left. Radinsky has moved out to right field. Sharp at first. Grant Smith at second. Naviak at short. Capozzi at third. Sulak behind the dish. And Sandoval in center is the full defensive alignment for anyone who's having trouble keeping track.
So now, coming up to the plate, Colton Freeman. He stands in with Allen on second and 1 out after Madrigal struck out Servin to start the inning, and then a double up the line for Allen. First pitch is in there for a strike to Freeman, as Freeman today stands in for the 5th time. He had a walk in the first, a ground out in the second, a walk in the 5th inning in which he was caught stealing, and a single in his last at-bat. That was a 2-out, 2 RBI, 2-strike single for Freeman. That made the game 8-0. As he swings and misses at the 0-1, he now goes behind 0-2. In that RBI single, that 2 RBI single, excuse me, he had a 2-2 count on the 6th pitch of the at-bat, ripped it right up the middle, just out of the reach of the charging Naviak. Couldn't field it, went into the outfield. The 2 runs came in, and the lead went from 6-0 to 8-0. This time he fouls it away to the backstop. We'll do the 0-2 again. 4th pitch of the at-bat coming up to Freeman. Freeman from Laguna Beach, California, like we said, goes to Dartmouth. So a couple of Ivy League players right now facing off against each other. It's a matchup we'll see in the future. Both players didn't get a season this past year because the Ivy League canceled their spring season. As Freeman rips it up the middle. Another single for him. Coming around to score now is Allen. Freeman rounds first, stops there. Throwing in the ball is Sandoval. Allen scores the lead now 9-0 after another RBI single from Colton Freeman. And Freeman, man, today, he's been impressive. 2 walks that he's gotten on for, and then back-to-back RBI singles. His 3rd RBI of the day. He also scored a run in the first after walking. So he's having himself an impressive day. Madrigal surrenders a run after a double and now a single on back-to-back batters. Still 1 out, and up to the plate, Reed Spenrath. Pitches in there for a strike, 0-1.
And that's actually Colton Freeman's 4th RBI of the day. The one time he didn't get on in the 2nd inning, it was a ground out to shortstop, but he drove in a run.
There you go. So, pitch misses outside, 1-1. Freeman, a 4 RBI day. Had a 2 RBI single in the 6th and a 1 RBI single here in the 8th. As the Riptide, they're leading 9-0 in this blowout of the Oaks. The pitch from Madrigal is fouled away. It's now 1-2 to Reed Spenrath. As Spenrath today stands in for the 5th time. Has struck out twice, once in the 6th and once looking in the 2nd. Had a walk when he came around to score in the 1st and a fly out in the 5th. Now has a 1-2 count with Freeman on first. The pitch from Madrigal. This one's fouled away. We'll do the 1-2 again. The 5th pitch of the at-bat coming up to Reed Spenrath. And Spenrath, a young man from Texas, go to Texas Christian University, one of the better baseball programs in this country. Though TCU's baseball coach is just heading over to Aggieland down in College Station to go take over and be the coach at Texas A&M. As another foul tipped from Spenrath. Do the 1-2 again. 6th pitch coming up to Spenrath. Spenrath, this season, batting .214, has 9 RBIs on the year, 11 walks, 16 strikeouts. If you count today, he has 18 strikeouts and another walk, so 12 walks. Now a meeting at the mound between Madrigal and Sulak. Sharp, the first baseman, he's holding there with Freeman there at first. In this game, it was a tough start for Lucian Weschberg. He pitched 1 1/3 innings pitched, faced 11 batters, walked 6 of them, gave up 2 hits to 2 other of them. Only got 4 outs on the day, gave up 6 runs in those first 2 innings. It was 6-0 for a while until Eric Moss surrendered 2 runs in the 6th, as this one's lifted to left field. Suji going back, making the catch in left field. Heading back to first base is Freeman, and now 2 are gone here in the bottom of the 8th.
And Knight, I'm sure that some pitchers would love to be in left field if Coach Dave Solis is going to put catchers in left field. I'm sure that some of the pitchers who have been shagging in batting practice, they talk about how much they love catching fly balls. I'm sure they'd love to be in left field. Heck, I'm sure that we up here in the booth would love to get the nod up in left field.
You know, I saw you flashing that leather a little bit today in BP, Ryan. I think you caught about 3 or 4 fly balls.
I caught actually 5 fly balls.
5, wow. Okay, so I was 1 off.
It's a big day for me.
First pitch is in there for a strike to Darian Williams. 0-1 the count. Williams today, a walk in the 1st and 5th inning. In the 7th inning, last inning, he had a double as he swings and misses at the 0-1 in there for a strike. It's now 0-2. In the 2nd inning, though, he did fly out to the right fielder on the 3rd pitch he saw. But today he's reached base 3 times, scored once. Standing in for the 5th time with an 0-2 count with a runner on first and 2 outs. Madrigal looking a long time. Now he's set. Sulak behind the dish. The pitch. Fastball ran away. Madrigal tried to get him to chase. He did not. The count now 1-2 to Williams.
And Knight, I want to go back to the fly ball point because in batting practice today, a few players were requesting to get me a uniform, and I'm sure that you could get one as well. And I'm just saying, if we're not putting natural outfielders in the outfield, I'm not sure if I deserve a spot or not.
2nd K of the inning for Madrigal, and that'll do it for this inning. So, 2 hits come in for the Riptide. 1 run came in to score. 1 runner left on base. We head to the top of the 9th inning. The Oaks, they got some work to do. They're trailing 9-0. They're still not out of it, but for all intents and purposes, they have 3 more outs. We're still in this in Orange County. We'll take a break, and you're listening on the Conejo Oaks live stream. Knight Uretsky, Ryan Milano with you here at Orange County. Caden Suji, he's going to step up to the plate in the 9th inning. The Oaks, they're trailing 9-0. They still have 3 outs to work with and not done yet, as Maudry's still on the mound for the Riptide. First pitch to Suji, misses 1-0. Suji stands in for the second time. First time he struck out swinging. Pitch to him, in there for a strike now. It's 1-1.
And Knight, I don't see anyone in the Oaks dugout with their rally cap on, but I, for one, do have my rally cap on.
Pitches away, 2-1. Absolutely caught me by surprise. Was not expecting that when I looked over to my left. Hat is fully upside down. I fully respect it. The 2-1, Suji fouls it away. Count even 2-2 now to Caden Suji. See Austin Carrillo, he's pinch hitting on deck. He does not have a rally cap on like Ryan next to me.
Well, he has a helmet. He has an excuse.
See Andrew Sharp in the hole. The 2-2 to Suji, misses. Full count now to Caden Suji. Maudry, the man out of Fayetteville, Arkansas, playing for his hometown Razorbacks all the way out here in Southern California. Suji laid on that one, fouls it down the first base side. We'll do the full count pitch again. 7th pitch of the at-bat coming up to Suji. Actually, Suji, his last time up, he grounded out on the first pitch he saw. That was straight to the shortstop. Still, though, 0 for 1 as he grounds this one to the third baseman, Cervantes. He throws across the diamond. What a play for Cervantes, and 1 out now. The Oaks, they still have 2 outs to work with.
They still have 2 outs to work with right there for Suji. I thought that he had a chance to get up the line. At third base, Cervantes, he had a poor jump to the ball. It sort of froze him up, and then he realized that he had to charge it. Suji didn't get the best jump out of the box, so it was sort of neutralized, the poor jump at third, the poor jump out of the box, and Suji not able to take advantage.
So now, Austin Carrillo, he's going to be pinch hitting right now for Raul Sandoval. First pitch to Carrillo in there for a strike. 0-1. Carrillo batting for the first time today. Sandoval, it was a tough day for him. He was 0 for 3, 3 strikeouts. The pitch, Carrillo fouls it away. It's now 0-2. Carrillo this season is batting .273 in conference play, batting .314 overall. His last time he played, it was against the Blues on Sunday. He went 0 for 3 as he grounds one to the right side now. Coming in is Spenrath, flips it over to Maudry. He taps on the base, and Carrillo is retired on a 3-1 play. And the Oaks, they still have 1 out to work with. Ryan's still wearing his rally hat.
Rally cap is still on, mostly for the fact that I cannot turn it around without taking my headset off.
It's the thought that counts,
But
Ryan.
also, the spirit is here.
The spirit's here. Maudry, the man on the mound. The pitch to Sharp, in there for a strike. 0-1 to Andrew Sharp. Sharp today, up for the 4th time. Struck out twice and hit by a pitch. That hit by a pitch happened in the 5th inning. Last time he came up with a strikeout, that was in the 7th inning. The 0-1 misses outside. Count even 1-1. Sharp goes to Cal State Bakersfield, originally from Santa Clarita, California. As he swings and misses at the 1-1, he's now down 1-2. Sharp, he originally went to Saugus High School before transferring to Grace Brethren, same high school where Coach Mark Fitzgerald coaches at. Both find themselves with the Oaks. The 1-2. Sharp stays alive and fouls it off. The Oaks, they're down to their final strike, but Sharp fouls it away, and there's still hope.
There's always hope. Till the final out, the final strike, there's always hope.
9-0 the score. The Riptide, they took an early 6-0 lead after the second inning, 5-0 after the first. The 1-2 struck out swinging was Sharp, and that'll do it for the game. The Oaks, they lose their worst game of the year, 9-0, only had 4 hits throughout the whole game, also had an error in the performance, but they're losing 9-0, an absolute blowout here in Orange County. And Ryan, what are your final thoughts?
My final thoughts, I mean, first of all, the rally cap didn't work. Second of all, I thought that the Oaks, they actually played better than what the final score shows. It was a poor outing for Lucian Washburg, and he'll tell you that. But outside of that, I thought the Oaks, they played not well, but they played competitive with the Riptide. Through the first inning, it was tough to throw strikes, but after that 5 spot in the first, and after Washburg was out of the game after 1 1/3, the Oaks, they sort of emptied the bench, were able to see what a lot of these other guys that aren't consistent members in the lineup had, get them reps, and that's what this is all about. It's about repetitions, it's about getting better, and that's what the CCL is about. You want to win games, but you also want to make sure that your guys have the success that they want to have. So, for the Oaks, it wasn't the best performance. They'll bounce back. They'll come back again tomorrow. But despite the 9-0 loss, it was much more competitive throughout the entirety of the game than just 9-0.
Yeah, Aiden Garza had a phenomenal game pitching the ball, but the Oaks, they fall 9-0. With the loss, the Oaks, they drop down to 5-6 in the standings. They're now in 4th place behind the Riptide, the Saints, the Blues, and the Foresters. They're going to be facing off against the 5th place team, the last place team, the Academy Barons. That'll be tomorrow at 4:30. Ryan Milano and I will be on the call for that as the Oaks, they play at home at Sparky Anderson. That'll do it for us here in Orange County. The Oaks, they're going to want to forget about this one as they lose 9-0.